Yo. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Mm-hmm. Oh, true, true. Yeah, yeah. True, true. Nah, bro, you're good. You're good. I'm good. Yep. True, true. Huh. You never know. All right. Yep. I'm good.
All right, everyone should be able to hear us now. You're only going to be able to see one of us right now. Oh, hold on. You
Oh,
can still
wait.
see
You're
me in
good.
OBS.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Hold on. Let's do this. Hi, guys. Welcome to Late Night. You can hear one of us.
But you
can
can't
see
see
the
the
other.
other. True.
This is
Y'all
what we
can
do.
see me, but you can't see Koopa.
Where is the camera? There we go. So let's turn that off. Okay. All right, hold on. Go on. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll figure this out. So,
We'll get it sorted. Yeah, we'll get it sorted.
all right. Hello, everyone. We're out here, and we got gameplay. There
We
we go.
do.
If I do it this way, you can see both of us right now. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Late Night. We're in the 190th edition here of Late Night events here on youtube.com/The Shuffle Squad. I am Koopa, aka Kyle Rios, one of your many talking heads here on the broadcast, and joining me, as somewhat always, coming off of a fresh day 2 at NAIC.
We did it. We did it.
We did it, Joe. We did it. It's a Little Dark Fury, LDF. Good evening, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope you're also doing good, Kyle. I'm pretty excited to cast another top cut here at the late night. We actually have a decent bit of variety in the top 8 decks. So that's going to be cool. There's a couple Miraidon, a couple Gardevoir, looks like, stuff like that. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm excited to cast some of these matches here and see what comes out on top and wins the first big late night. The first big late night since NAIC.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited as well. If you guys were looking for that Gardevoir sandwich, in between a couple of lost boxes, you're not going to find it here. We got some variety, like we mentioned. We got Miraidon with Pixel 102 going up against our very own Josh Frink. Josh, who is near the top of the leaderboards for a while at NAIC this past weekend. Still was able to finish top 64, I believe, at the end of the day. So I believe we finished around like 39th. Don't quote me on that. Numbers are weird. But Josh,
Yeah.
not playing Guardy, playing Pidgeot Control. I believe
he's on
this is
control this time, which is interesting.
Yeah, I believe he's playing Alberto Cremascoli's list. Shout outs to my
Alessandro,
good
yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, he's playing
shout out.
the list.
He got the giraffe,
I think
bro.
he also played against him at NEIC, so I think that has inspired Josh's kind of motivation to want to play the deck for the late night, because he did play against Alessandro, and he was saying the match was really, really good. Because it was a closed deckless environment, he didn't know that he had the Lost City in the deck, which is what cost Josh the game.
That dang Lost City. That'll get you.
Yeah, because I actually think Gardevoir versus Control, it's a close matchup. I think Gardevoir can win the Control matchup, especially if there's Churros involved and stuff, but it is a close matchup for sure. And not having deck knowledge, not knowing there's Lost City in the deck, can definitely be a big deal.
No, absolutely. And shout outs to my good friend Colin Early Matthews. I pulled a Fergraph EX in my league packs tonight, so thinking about you, bud. Sorry it had to happen to you that way.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, we also got Green Bean rocking the Guardy going up against San Martino with Dragapult. Sam,
Which is kind of crazy, yeah.
Yeah, rocking the Zatu build. So definitely, I feel like one of the lesser played versions of this deck. But I think that's what our top stream match is going to be. So you want to hop into that one?
Let's get into it.
Let's get some Pult.
Let's do it.
And you look at that, we're already getting into the game here. So we already have Dragapult on screen. So that's half the battle right there. So
Yep. And this is so it is Gardy versus Dragapult. I think this matchup is slightly favored for Gardevoir just because of the Monkey Dory. Dragapult can still win. There's obviously a lot of lines you do have, but I do think that for the most part, Dragapult is slightly favored against Gardevoir right now.
Yeah. I think with the addition of Monkey Dory, obviously we see here in the active, that kind of takes some of the steam out of what Dragapult can do. Obviously being able to move those damage counters off of your Pokemon, both that you accelerate yourself and what Dragapult can put on you. So your board's going to look pretty clean for the most part, most of these games. But I do think because of how Gardevoir kind of has to set itself up as a deck, you have to really accelerate a lot of energy onto these smaller Pokemon that Gardevoir is going to be able to clean up with some big swings here. But I do think adding the Cresselia back into the deck definitely is also an X factor that kind of helps even this matchup out a bit.
Yeah, the Monkey Dory definitely just makes a big difference because the Dragapult is doing so much damage to the bench, but it's not doing enough damage sometimes. 60 damage counters isn't a whole lot when these Curlias and Rolls have 70 to 80 HP. When you're able to use Monkey Dory to do more damage to the Dragapult and heal, it's kind of good. You also have the Cresselia, which we're about to see in use here. Cresselia is another big factor in how this matchup is favored for Gardy, because you're able to use Cresselia to also move a ton of damage off the board. You're basically deflecting a lot of the damage that Dragapult is trying to do to your board.
All right, and we see here already that game being played here. I played in a lot of sides at NAIC this weekend, and this is exactly the sort of board state that I would be facing myself. I have a lone, big Dragapult in the active, and my opponent simply wanted to just completely disregard it. They're going around me with Screamtail. They're going around me with Cresselia, just trying to knock out the other pieces of Dragapult. And you see right there, the Dracloak, Recon Directive isn't the best draw engine on the planet, but it's still 2 cards you get to see. So being able to knock that out and also make it a little bit harder to get these Dragapults, chained together, definitely a tactic that I think, needs to be recognized here.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting situation here. The Dragapult player doesn't know what to get rid of here with the Vessel, because every card actually can be very good in this matchup in the hand. I mean, you might want the Manaphy for the Screamtail, you might want the Iono to draw cards, but you also have the Palpad, you need the Vacuum for the Bravery Charms. I'm actually choosing to opt to get rid of the Iono. But yeah, this is kind of the issue with Dragapult Zatu, is that because you don't play Pidgeot, you don't play Bibarel, your draw engine is extremely limited, and you're very much not drawing as many cards as you can. And actually, as I say that, they still get a Dracloak and an Iono off of the Zatu. That's a pretty good Zatu.
Yeah, no, what's the expression of a broken clock's right twice a day? When I saw that Clairvoyant Sense only draws 2 cards when you accelerate energy, I actually laughed out loud. I was just like, I swear I Mandela affected that into that card draws 3, but not the case. And we see the Ace Spec, which is always highly debated in these Dragapult lists, but also very subjective depending on what list you're playing. The Unfair Stamp seems to be the choice here.
Yeah, I wonder actually if we're going to see the Unfair Stamp be played this turn. Part of the plan here, it looks like going after the Curlias, taking out the draw engine. Basically, this matchup, okay, so there's the Unfair Stamp. The matchup looks like both players are just trying to cripple each other's draw engine, because it's kind of the same thing. You have this big EX Pokemon, and then their entire draw engine is the stage 1 version of the EX. Curly is a lot stronger than Dracloak, but it's interesting how both players are approaching this matchup, and it's just like, I'm going to go after your draw engine, and I'm going to go after your draw engine with Cresselia, and they're just kind of going to keep crippling the draw engine until one player runs out of steam, and the other player can capitalize on the lack of draw that the player was able to have.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best way to go about this. So, you Unfair Stamp your opponent into a 2-card hand. You put all that damage on to the Curlia, and there's no Darkness Energy attached to Monkey Dory yet. So Adrenabrain is not yet a factor to help kind of correct these numbers. So we're at most only going to see 2 cards here in his hand, LDF, and
Yep.
you know, it can get really hairy. You know, there's Gardevoir is still a deck where it's like I get a little hasty of it. You know, you have the off chance of hitting just like the worst part of your deck in the middle of this game without a draw engine, but having a counter catcher here is actually huge. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be the Manaphy here, most likely. I think that's what you're gonna want to try to swing into here.
I could actually see it being. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe go after a Dracloak. Yeah, so maybe what they're trying to do here is they're gonna try to maybe trap the Dracloak in the active. Dragapult doesn't tend to play a lot of energy. I think the Xatu deck here only plays like what 7 energy in total, something like that. So maybe the strategy. Yeah, so like maybe the strategy is to like trap the Dragapult in the active spot and try to like stall it for a turn. And it definitely can work. Sometimes you can get lucky. Yeah, there's only 7 energy in the deck, so like if this Dracloak can move. This actually essentially buys him a free turn, but the unfair stamp into the fire energy basically means we're going to see this active Dracloak retreat.
Ooh, you're going to get rid of the Enhanced Hammer. That is a non-factor in this particular build of Dragapult. Putting in, just trying, and the unfair stamps coming through doing exactly what they, have been designed to do. That was a pretty decent hand on the side of the Dragapult player there. But now we're getting some energy accelerated to the Monkey Dory. Are we going to see a Mind Bend?
We could see a Mind Bend here, but I think, it looks more like
most
a
likely
retreat.
We're going to see most likely a retreat.
Yeah, maybe a Cresselia. Yeah, the double Monkey Dory is also kind of annoying for the Dragapult player. One Monkey Dory is not as bad for Dragapult, but when there's 2 in play, it really mitigates the amount of damage you can do. In fact, it makes it so that with both Monkey Dories having dark energy on them, it makes it so Dragapult's attack on the bench does effectively 0 damage because of Monkey Dory.
What a card, man. Monkey Dory just completely changes the complexion of Gardevoir. A deck that, kind of fell out of favor for a little bit, but now came roaring back with a vengeance this past weekend, as we see once again the bench being picked to pieces as we now have a Dracloak stranded in the active with no energy on it. But having fire energy in the hand, not terrible by any means. We still have some other cards in the deck we can choose to get.
Yeah, still actually does play the Bibarel, so does have a little bit of extra draw in the deck. You have the Dracloak, the Xatu, and the Bibarel to support your deck, which is pretty good. And that was a pretty lucky Dracloak there. Finds Lumineon. Probably going to see that played for an Iono, I would imagine. I guess one thing to note, too, is the Kirlia on the bench, I think only has 10 damage on it. From the looks of it, let me see here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only 10 damage. Okay, yeah, I couldn't really see that from the distance. But it's 10 damage, which means the Kirlia can't get killed. It actually would be pretty big here if you could go Iono to 4 and then knock out the Kirlia with Dragapult. That would actually put the Dragapult player in a pretty decent spot, because then the Guardy player would have no draw in play. So it might be better to retreat here into Dragapult, knock out the Cresselia, and then I guess kind of figure it out. I guess one issue is if the Dragapult does go down this turn, it is going to be pretty bad for the Gardevoir deck or good for the Gardevoir player, because Dragapult player doesn't have a lot of energy really left to work with, and I don't know if they're going to be attacking next turn with another Dragapult if Dragapult does get knocked out here.
Yeah, this can be a really scary predicament here. And we do see the secondary attacker in the Radiant Charizard here, but that's not soon to be a factor. There does not seem to, and there's no Mellows in the deck to accelerate extra fire energy into play. So,
well, that was a pretty good prize. Getting the Psychic is actually really big there.
Yeah,
that
that's
might actually.
That was good.
Okay. Yeah. That might actually allow the Dragapult player to stay in the game for an extra turn, assuming the Dragapult EX does get knocked out. If the Dragapult doesn't die here, there's still some time to establish the board. But if the Dragapult doesn't get any knocked out, I think we're most likely going to try to see another Snipe play this turn, where maybe we're going to see the other Dracloak get picked off, so that you're able to effectively take out all the Dragapults around the Dragapult and then eventually go after the Dragapult. And the Dragapult hasn't really been as much of a presence because of the Monkey Dories, making the extra spread attack just not do as much spread damage.
Yeah, 1 monkey, already enough to deal with, but 2 monkeys, definitely I'd say spice. I believe Kato's top 8 list was play 2 Monkey Dory, and that proved to be very, very effective.
Yeah, double Monkey Dory is really hard to deal with for a lot of decks that involve, these spread tactics. It can be good in the mirror too. But yeah, double Monkey Dory is kind of insane. The other nice thing about having 2 Monkey Dory is either you prize a Monkey Dory or your opponent targets it. A lot of the time, if you have the ability to, targeting down the Monkey Dory can be pretty important. And if you're able to take out the Monkey Dory, then, their deck is a little bit more weaker. And I think that can be important. So having 2 of them is just like, you can't just target Monkey Dory because they just have another one somewhere in the deck.
All right, a little confused on what the card discarded there originally was, but it was the Fluttermane. And the Iono coming through, so.
It's a pretty big Iono. Getting rid of that Psychic Energy there is relevant. But, I mean, the Iono did give them another Iono. I think we're going to have to see sequence here. Probably have to go for the Iono. Unless there's still a Vessel in the deck. I don't quite know if there's another Earthen Vessel. There's another Earthen Vessel. Arven for Vessel could be good because you get the Fire and the Psychic. Also assuming there's another Fire and Psychic in the deck, which I actually don't think there's another Fire. There's 4 Psychic, 3 Fire in the list. We might have actually seen all 3 Fire and Gs being played so far, so. It's no Fire and G left, and the Dragapult does get KO'd here. This might be really bad, actually.
Yeah, we see the Drifloon hit the bench here. That can lead one to assume that the knockout is coming. That's sort of the thing with Guardy. You don't really you don't bench your big guns until somebody's ready to start swinging.
Yeah.
So that would lead me to believe that we have the Drifloon with a Charm or some HP modifier, on deck. And there it is, the Bravery Charm coming through.
I think this should be a knockout with the amount of Psychic Energy in the discard pile. I think it's... So Drifloon has 120 HP. I think with the Monkey Dory damage, I think you need to put 5, 6 energy on the Drifloon. Basically, you have to put as much energy on the Drifloon as you can put on with Gardevoir's ability with the Bravery Charm on because of the extra 30. So the Drifloon does 300 damage here with the max energy, and then the Monkey Dory makes it 330.
Boy, let me tell you, I did not miss doing Gardevoir math when this deck was sort of middling for a while.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Every time I play against Gardevoir, I always have to double-check my opponent's Drifloon to make sure it's doing enough damage.
Yeah.
But it should be 300 damage here. The 5 energy is 300 damage. And that's enough to kill Dragapult. And this is pretty awkward for Sequence because now they have to figure out a way to stop the Drifloon, but also build up another Dragapult, which I don't know if is very likely. Especially when they could be down all their energy.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But top deck into Super Rod, that definitely helps out.
That was pretty big. Yeah, all the fires are gone. That was actually an insane top deck. Because, yeah, there was no Fire energy left in the deck. So that does make the thing a bit easier. The question is, do you go Iono or Arven in this situation? Because you still have to find the energy. Now, you do have the Dracloak. I think there's a Bibarel in the deck still, judging from the Bidoof getting benched. So I imagine there's still Bibarel. So you still have some draw. You can draw into the Psychic Energy, which can get you into another thing for the Dracloak. We see the Dracloak here getting Counter Catcher. Actually, this could be big. If you can pull off Dragapult this turn, you can go Counter Catcher Kirlia, knock out the Kirlia and the Drifloon, and that could be pretty big. But then you still have to deal with the Gardevoir EX. So it is kind of risky, but if you still have a boss in the deck, then it's still easy to get out of it.
Yeah, it's plays like this where, you look at Dragapult on paper or, in action, and it might not be the most impressive thing, but it's being able to chain together these, multi-prize turns that really make this deck, something to be reckoned with. And we see that play already coming out here, so we're going to Counter Catcher up the Kirlia, hit the Iono, and hope that we hit the energy that we need. And the Dragapult.
Doesn't find it. You don't get the Vacuum, though. Depending on what's prized, I mean, that Vacuum could actually save you. So you can knock out the Drifloon here, take a prize, and depending on, I don't know what's prized. I mean, you have to get at least a Psychic Energy out off of the prizes here. I guess you could actually get Dragapult still, because you can still do Dragapult's first attack, which would actually knock out Kirlia for 70 damage. But I don't know what's actually prized. So I guess we're going to find out what the prize is. This has to be a really big prize.
Survey says it's an Ultra Ball.
That's not quite enough, unfortunately. Now, there is one little silver lining. The Gardevoir player is down to 2 cards in hand. I don't know if the boss has been played yet. They can't do Counter Catcher, so they do at least have to work a little bit to get the get the knocking on the Dracloak. So we'll see if this Dracloak dies. If the Gardevoir player knocks out Dracloak, the game ends, basically. I don't think Sequence can win if Dracloak gets KO'd. If Dracloak survives, there is still a world where we could see Sequence win. But now the Curlia can get fully healed, which is pretty bad. This is a very unfortunate attack whiff there. I honestly think maybe before the Iono there, I think it would have been better to play the Dracloak after the Iono. Because we saw that the Vacuum would have... I think there might have been enough cards to maybe sequence a Bibarel together if you held the Dracloak. So maybe holding the Dracloak's ability until after the Iono was the better play. Unless there was something that I was missing there, but that might have been better. But yeah, if there's a boss on the Dracloak here, the game is basically over. I think actually it might just be game anyway.
Yeah, I think it might just be, because we're just going to move this energy around, and then whatever gets promoted gets knocked out by Guardi EX anyway, so.
Yeah, that works too. And this is kind of just a showcase as to why Gardevoir beats Dragapult. Monkey Dory just kind of makes the matchup a lot more favorable.
Yeah, that six to the bench looks a lot less scary when you're able to move it around, and you just adding insult to injury with the boss in hand anyway. So there we go. Given the Gardevoir class right there is Green Kick, so San Martino going to drop that first game there. And like you said, LDF, this is I think why you can look at on why this matchup is so good for Gardevoir. Just that X Factor being able to move that damage around with Monkey Dory really helps correct some of your math. Makes it so you don't always have to hit for those high ceilings with these really fragile glass cannon Pokemon. That was just real, expertly played.
Yeah, it was a really good match. It was a showcase of just how Gardevoir is so good against Deepult. Just being able to go around the Dragapult. Against Dragapult, you don't just blindly attack with Drifloon every turn and, take big one-shots on the EX. Going around the Dragapult and knocking out their bench, taking out all their Dracloaks, taking out their Draw Engine, so that eventually when you do deal with Dragapult, your opponent won't have much to work with. And that's one of the things that makes Gardevoir such a strong deck, is it has so many different counter plays it can make that it can be really difficult to deal with. Because eventually you can go around the Dragapult, knock out their Draw Engine, and then Iono them to a small hand. And a lot of the time, they just kind of can't piece things together. You can come in with the Gardevoir EX and sweep things up.
All right, so match updates for you guys, by the way. Obviously, we saw Green Being win that first game over Sam. Josh Frink up one game over Pixel. And Albatrosity wins it over Doubles Mickle. Double semicolon. Wow, reading is not my strong suit. That, for those wondering, that is a Charizard Dragapult Pidgeot deck, so very akin to Tord Rec. I don't know if this is Tord's Exact 60, but
it might be.
It looks like it. Yeah.
It is.
Good deck.
Yeah, it looks pretty similar. Yeah.
The Smush, man. The Smush is very, very good, as Joe Bernard put it. Take two really good cards, put them together, and hey, works out for everyone.
Yeah, and getting into this game here, we actually see the Flutter Mane start, but on the other side, we see the Cleffa start. So probably got the optimal starter on both ends, which is pretty funny.
What's your stance on whether Dragapult wants to go first or second? Is that more of like an archetype sort of thing, like which build of the deck you're playing, or?
I think you always go second because you're able to play Arven for Buddy Poffin, no matter the Dragapult deck, because I guess the only Dragapult deck that would go first maybe would be Lost Pult, but if I'm playing Dragapult with Pidgeot or Charizard or Xatu, I think I'm always choosing second because I just want to make sure that I get a board established. And the best way to do that is that you can play Arven for Buddy Poffin. And in this case, we actually see a pretty solid start. We got TM Evo, Cleffa, Buddy Poffin, Forest Seal Stone. If you want to grab Rotom, you can. You'll kind of see how this turn it gets played out here because, yeah, you have the ability to set up Natu, grab your Dreepy, and just basically try to set your board up the best you can so that you're able to stand up to Gardevoir. Because both sides do look like they have good starts. We got the Buddy Poffin turn 1, and we have the turn 1 triple rolls, which is honestly pretty intimidating.
Yeah, that's certainly scary stuff. I've had dreams of starts like this. Like, this is like when you think of like ideal starts on either end, it's what both players have going on right now. But we're going to... Unfortunately, the 1V Pokemon in the deck for Sam has been prized. It is the Lumineon V. So, unfortunately, Forest Seal Stone can't be used to reach a little bit further.
Well, at least on the bright side, we do have the Cleffa, which did get the second Buddy Poffin, which is pretty good. And I think, um, no, I don't. I actually don't think there's a Dragapult turn 2 actually with this hand. This hand does have Arven, but I don't think you can piece together turn 2 Dragapult because even if you were to Arven or Rotom, and yeah, you just can't get. You need at least a rare candy, a Dragapult or an energy top deck. I just don't think there's a way to pull off the turn 2 Dragapult, which is actually pretty bad because now you're giving the Gardevoir player more time to establish their board.
Yeah, this is just the tough stuff here. You're going to see the Arven come through here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the TM Evolution play come through on this turn. Again, knowing you have a little bit more time against Dragapult, as we see the Earthen Vessel and the TM Evolution coming through out of the deck there. So most likely going to be what the play is here. We're going to have a board full of, looks like a board full of Curlias and possibly a Guardy EX on top of that. So
Yeah, I mean, this is the scary thing with Gardevoir. If you make them go first, if they get at least a couple Ralts down, they can still get turn 2 Curlias. If you go second, or if they go second, you can still they can TM Evolution. So no matter what, Gardevoir usually is getting set up pretty fast.
the illusion of choice against Gardevoir sometimes is deceptive.
Exactly.
That's why I'll hit the deck here for another Ralts. Some options on the board here is we're going to see the manual attach. Where is the CD? There it is. TM Evolution coming down here.
The one thing to note about the Green Kick's board right now, Green Kick does not have room for Monkey Dory on the bench, so there could be some spread shenanigans here. Though, with 4 Curlies in play, it's probably not that hard to find the Professor Turo scenario to pick something up. When there's 2 in the deck, it's a pretty likely chance when you have 4 Curlies. You're drawing 8 cards. You can still probably Turo Greninja, bench Monkey Dory, and pop off. But at the moment, there is no room for Monkey Dory. But like I said, I don't think we're seeing an attack this turn. Even with the Dragapult top deck, I guess you could really go, if you wanted to, you could go Dragapult's first attack and pick for 70 damage onto the Flutter Mane. I actually think that might be the play here because you're putting damage on the board. You're forcing your opponent to respond, and the response is most likely going to be Gardevoir EX. I'm actually curious to see if we're going to see that, or maybe we just might see an Earthen Vessel for TM Evolution. I guess that's probably just better than attacking, knowing that there's only 1 rare candy in the deck. Okay, for some reason, I thought the Zatu Dragapult deck here had more candy. It's only 1 candy in the deck, so yeah, I guess we're gonna have to just see the TM Evolution here.
Yeah, like I don't want to say a slightly thicker line of Dracloak. Most lists are playing. I think if they're playing any, they're playing at a minimum of 2, but no more than 3. I haven't seen a lot of lists play the full 4/4. Just because I think you just want to move as fast as possible, churn through your deck, to make sure that you can chain together those Dragapults. We're going to see the attachment of the energy here, as well as TM Evolution.
Yep.
Exactly what we're going to go for.
Probably going to see double Dracloak here. I don't think you need to get Zatu, because at least, get the Dracloaks out. Honestly, you have a pretty good hand for next turn. You have Dragapult, Fired, Bibarel to draw some more cards. You have double Dracloak. You are actually seeing a lot of cards next turn.
Also, I was mistaken before. I did not see the Luminion in the deck during a deck search, but it is there. So Force Field Stone target is available for some, possibly later down the line. But let's see how Green Kick's next turn goes. We are slowly entering the scary part. But like you mentioned before, a bench full of Curlias and a Greninja as well as Flutter Mane. So the bench kind of bench locked a little bit here.
Yeah, I think this turn, it's probably just going to be like a Turo, Greninja, bench Monkey Dory, Flutter Mane attack the active, put 20 on like Natu or Bidoof for Dracloak or something. It's most likely going to be the play this turn. I don't think I guess you could attack with Gardevoir EX. There's no reason to. I think, attacking with Flutter Mane here is probably the play. You could go Cresselia, which isn't bad either, though, I guess. That's maybe the other play too. Go Cresselia here, knock out the Dracloak with the energy on it. Yeah, there's a Turo. And all right, now I'm curious to see what the play is going to be. Is it going to be bench Monkey Dory, go Flutter Mane, or is it going to be go with the Cresselia? Because I think Cresselia is probably the play, depending on how much energy is in the discard pile. Because if you can snipe the Dracloak with the energy on it, it does actually slow down sequence quite a bit.
No, it's going to be the Monkey Dory here. So most likely you're just going to attach that energy, move some impending damage counters around, and I think we just might see some math correction here for Flutter Mane. So
Yeah. Yeah, and there's the Adrenaline Brain. Yeah, we're just probably going to see the Monkey Dory attack. Actually, the Natu can get knocked out, which is pretty scary for Sequence. That's not only a draw engine, but it's also how you put energy in play. So that's also pretty big. The Natu getting KO'd is pretty scary. Maybe it was better then to actually go Dracloak Xatu then, because you can protect your Natu from getting KO'd by this Flutter Mane play.
yeah, tough call for sure. I probably would have done the same thing given what my opponent's board state looked like, but we're going to be able to at least get a Dragapult attacking this turn, and we do get the counter catcher as well as Bibarel. So, the things are slowed down a little bit, but we're still in some pretty decent shape. We are going to see some cards here with Recon Directive before we evolve. Oh no, we can't.
But Flutter Mane, yeah, that's right.
That's
Not
right.
that it, I guess, really matters. But maybe it does. There's counter catcher on Monkey Dory. Doesn't even do their.
Nope.
I guess actually. Well, to be fair, there is Bibarel. You technically draw more cards with Bibarel. So I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I always forget it because there's so many ability disruption cards in his deck. I always forget. It's like, okay, Klefki's the one that does it to everybody, but Fluttermane's Midnight Fluttering only does it to the guy in the active, but everyone else on the bench can still do it herself. It's like a lot to keep track of in his deck.
Yeah, that was a pretty good recon there. Getting the Buddy Poffin lets you get the Natu back out, which you do need. You probably want to go Natu Dreepy here. Get that Natu back down on the board so you have some protection. You can knock out the Monkey Dory here, which is really good. Question is, where would you put the 6 damage? Probably on a Curly, I imagine. You're doing 230 damage. You can hit the Curlia, put some damage on it, set up to be... Yeah, probably just put 6 on Curly. I think is probably fine here. You can't really afford to spread the damage counters out due to Cresselia. So yeah, putting all the damage on one Curlia seems probably fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. That definitely seems like the play right now. So, there you go. Phantom
yeah,
Dive.
The other thing, too, there's 3 energy trapped on Flutter Mane right now. So, yeah. That's also, like... I don't think Dragapult can get KO'd this turn.
No, yeah, that's true. I think, again, getting that early KO, getting a couple of prize cards on the board, very important. But, like you said, you got 3 energy cards locked up on this Flutter Mane right now. And this isn't a deck... I think these Gardevoir decks are usually only playing, 8 energy total versus, 6 psychic energy in general. So let me actually pull that up and we can take a look here. Green Bloom's playing 9 energy, so 7 psychic, 2 dark.
Yep, and that does mean, actually, unless there's the second Turo, the Dragapult technically can't be 1-hit KO'd here by the Drifloon. So we're probably going to see another turn of Flutter Mane. Very high chance we're going to see Monkey Dory again. Ooh, actually going after the Bibarel. This is kind of smart. But a little it does Green Kick know there is the Kieran in the hand, so Bibarel will be able to retreat with the Kieran. But I guess it's an interesting thing about playing Bibarel in the Dragapult deck is it actually kind of makes sense to have it because you have 3 draw engines within one deck. So you're actually able to draw a lot of cards every single turn. The problem is Bibarel is a bit of a liability due to its big retreat costs. So having this Kieran does help a little bit. I guess there's also maybe a Turo in the deck to remove the Bibarel, but makes me wonder if maybe it's worth playing other switches. But unfair stamp coming down. I wonder actually if their Bibarel's I wonder if the Bibarel's going to get KO'd. The Bibarel either can get knocked out by the Monkey Dory or just leave it alive and then knock it out next turn and leave it stuck for a turn.
Yeah, I don't think you'd waste that. I mean, personally, I don't think they'd waste that much resource to get Bibarel stuck up here, only to knock it out to have something else get promoted into the active. So I think we're either just going to move some damage around and try to swing around it, or we're just going to... eliminate the draw engine here. It looks like we're kind of just setting up the math here for the 90 plus another 20 to knock out the Xatu.
Yeah. Which makes sense, yeah. And now, actually, Sequence needs to find the Kieran here, or else the Bibarel is going to be stuck for a turn. And this is just another wasted turn where there's nothing really being done on Sequence's end, which isn't great. But that Lumineon top deck is huge. You can grab the Kieran, but the issue... Well, I guess you can Turo, But the issue now is you have a Luminion on your bench, which is a very easy target for Gardevoir EX to knock out. So, yeah, I guess you have to Turo. I think Turoing here is fine. You can Kieran because you can save Turo for Luminion. You can Turo Luminion off the board next turn. The problem with doing Turo is you can't Turo the fish, so the Gardevoir can easily knock out Luminion with a boss, but you also do need to move that Bibarel, and also you heal it, so you prevent the Bibarel from getting knocked out by the Monkey Dory or anything. So that's good. So I guess you're kind of just playing around a little bit from your opponent's outs, which is nice.
Yeah,
but we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see here how the game kind of goes in the situation. I actually think Dragapult is in a bit of a rough spot. Just there's 3 Curlia still on the board. So I guess there's now going to be 2, but there's an 8-card hand. You have a 2-prizer in play that gets 1-hit KO by Gardevoir. There's only 3 prizes left for Green Kick to take. It's not looking good actually for sequence, in all honesty.
Yep, and also just enough damage left over on that Curlia to be able to get a 2-prize knockout here. So,
yeah, putting 6 damage on the Curlia kind of made sense there, I think. And yeah, I mean, we are going to see a 2-prize turn, but if the Gardevoir player just knocks out Luminion here, that is going to be pretty close to checkmate, I think.
No, I agree. 11 cards left in the deck, still enough draw power left on the board, so whatever you might be looking for, if you don't already have it in hand, I think we're going to be able to find it here.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to see what happens, so there is still a chance for Sequence to maybe win the game, but it's really unlikely. You have to probably Iono next turn if there's no 2-prize knockout coming out here, but we'll have to see. There even could be some double Monkey Dory shenanigans this turn, where we actually could see the Bidoof on the bench get knocked out by the double Monkey Dory, and then at that point, you just either have to KO the active. Actually, there's a world where you could just win this turn, actually, as Green Kick. All you have to do is go double Monkey Dory, Drifloon, knock out the active Dragapult. Actually, no, you can't, because you'd have to triple Monkey Dory. Okay, I lied. But you can still, knock out the Bidoof, and, theoretically, you can knock out Bidoof and Boss Lumini on this turn. So maybe there's a chance Green Kick could theoretically win this turn.
It's going to be tight. We're going to need a couple more pieces. All right, we're going to get the Arven. Are we getting closer?
Yeah, we might actually just see the Dragapult get knocked out, which honestly is pretty bad, too, because there's no Xatu on board, so you can't Xatu. So actually, just knocking out the Dragapult here probably puts in a lot of work, too. Yeah, maybe just killing the Dragapult here is going to be enough for Green Kick to just kind of lock things up. KO the active Dragapult. There's no Xatu, so there's no way you can accelerate energy to the Dragapult and build up its other attack. You can do the first attack for 70, but the Guardy player doesn't care when they can just sit there and Turo and heal it. So I think Green Kick should be fine to win the game here with the Drifloon knockout, because I don't think there's a Mela in the Dragapult list. There's no Mela.
I don't believe there is either, no.
Yeah, so there's no way the Dragapult player theoretically can knock out Drifloon next turn. So yeah, it looks like it's probably just going to be about wrapped up here, or very close to being wrapped up. Even if you vacuum, knock out the Drifloon next turn, you can just go promote Gardevoir for a turn. You have to do Dragapult's first attack for 70, which does kill the Drifloon, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's enough. So it's looking pretty good for the Guardy player. There still is a world where maybe we could see Sequence win, but it is looking pretty unlikely because this is almost checkmate.
Yep, there we go. Psychic Embrace accelerating to that Drifloon. Balloon Blast going to be doing 300 damage, but with the damage correction of Adrenaline Brain, like we were mentioning, that's going to make it so that this Dragapult does not see the end of this turn.
Exactly.
And there we go. Balloon Blast going to knock out the Dragapult. 1 prize card left for Green Kick. And again, the hands isn't looking great right now either. Oh, but the Lost Vacuum top deck is kind of spicy.
It's a pretty good top deck. You can Vacuum Candy, knock out Drifloon, Iono to 1. I mean, it's still tough because, the Curlia, there's still 2 Curlias on board. Most likely, we're not going to see Green Kick promote Curlia, obviously. Probably going to promote either Gardevoir or Cresselia, I would imagine. But It is close, but I just don't know if the Dragapult player can squeak out a dub. Radiant Charizard, I don't think that's enough either. Even if the Gardevoir were to get promoted, you would still be short.
Yeah, because Gardevoir has, once the text bubble goes away, we can see that.
Yeah, it's got. Yeah, it's got still enough HP. Oh, the Kirlia does get promoted though. I mean, you have to probably go. I mean, you have to probably just do the Iono here, right? You got to go Iono knockout or hits for 70. Hitting the Kirlia for 70 does actually prevent the Kirlia from being able to retreat from the Gardevoir's ability unless you evolve it. Because you can Monkey Dory, but the Kirlia I think would still have damage on it where it can't be retreated. I think. Don't quote me on that. My math is a little off right now. It's like it's 3 a.m. Okay, people. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. right now. My math is like my brain's not fully operational right now. But there's the Dragapult. All right, we can do this. Actually, we could knock out the other Kirlia on the bench. The counter catcher in the hand's also live, so you can go counter catcher, knock out Kirlia. That actually is a lot closer than I thought. Actually, there is a world where we could see the dub because yeah, you go Dragapult, counter catcher, kill the other Kirlia. And all Green Kick has is to be able to do is draw 2 cards, and that's pretty big. But no, just punches the Kirlia for 70. I guess you could still set up game next turn with your Phantom Dive attack, maybe, but we'll see. But the problem with this is now the Kirlia can draw +4 cards. All they need to do is find like a combo, and I mean, if they just swing into the Dragapult this turn with like Gardevoir EX, the game probably is just over. I don't know if this is going to matter because I think it was probably correct there to counter catcher KO Kirlia on the bench because Green Kick can only draw 2 cards. They can swing with Gardevoir EX, but you have Bibarel, Ultra Ball. You have so much draw in your deck. You should be able to kind of clean up game next turn. So I'm kind of surprised, actually, yeah, I'm kind of surprised Sequence didn't knock out the Kirlia last turn. Hitting for 70 is okay because you're trapping the Kirlia from being able to retreat, but you can still see Green Kick draw 4 cards. And, I mean, the odds they find Gardevoir are a lot higher than you think. So I kind of think there should have just been a counter catcher last turn, to be honest with you.
Do you think that was maybe... I don't think the A-Spec's been used yet. Do you think that's, like, just kind of maybe playing around on fair stamp, possibly?
I mean, maybe. But, like, you still have Bibarel in play. Like, I still think KOing the Kirlia was the correct play there. But, I mean, you never know. Maybe I'm missing something with this play. Like, maybe they're just trying to set up a play where they can take 2 prizes in 1 turn with Phantom Dive. But I feel like the play there was just knock out Kirlia with counter catcher, right? Because then, yeah, the Gardevoir player only gets to draw 2 cards. Those 2 cards have to be like the stones, and you can hopefully kind of dig for game next turn. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, there's Turo, and yeah, I mean, I think at this point now, Green Kick probably just wins because, yeah, okay, and then yeah, the Cresselia's game, okay, yeah. Oh, yep. I guess actually, you know what? Maybe that's why okay, actually, I'm trolling. See, this is what happens when you do this at 3 a.m.
Math is hard, bro.
I would have just won the game anyways. Never mind.
Yeah.
So you never mind. All right, I'm trolling. You had to hit the Kirlia for 70. All right. I forgot Cresselia was for game. For some reason, I didn't see the Cresselia. All right, never mind. Okay. So yeah, it was correct to actually hit the Kirlia for 70.
The once forgotten, soldier in this deck, Cresselia, kind of fell out of favor, in these last couple formats. Has now come back with a vengeance, and we now have Green Kick moving on in the top 4.
Yep,
it's good stuff to them. And then let's all right, so let's take a look at the rest of our pairings right now.
Yeah, so I'll see where the standings are.
All right, so Josh won his match, so Green Kick's gonna go on to play Josh in top 4.
Yep.
And Albatrosity is still waiting on the winner of Yozi and Baduvsky. There we go. That's a tough one to say. So.
Yep. So right now we're waiting on Miraidon versus Lost Box. Interesting. So that'll be an interesting one to see the result of.
Yep. This is looking pretty similar, in at least the Lost Box list is to, no surprise, Andrew Hedrick's winning list. Not as turbo. There's a couple less switch cards, a couple less Pokestops, but still the same amount of Lost Box fun. Still very turbo focused for sure.
Yeah, still very, very turbo, but we'll have to see if they're able to squeak out the dub versus Miraidon. I would argue this matchup is 50-50 because both players are kind of just going 2 for 2 the entire game. Miraidon can take the first 2 prize knockout a lot easier than Lost Box can, but Lost Box does have the ability to use other stuff like Cram and Sableye. They have the Ursaluna, which they can use Ursaluna better than Miraidon can because they have, 4 super odds. So I think that it's a very 50-50 matchup. So we'll have to see how it goes.
All right, so let's we'll kick it back to us, and then we'll see what we got coming up. So hold on for 2 seconds, guys.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, that's me. Let's go back to the caster channel. There we go. I know how to drive. There we go. All right.
All right, we are back.
We are back. So yeah, so we were just waiting for that last match to wrap up. But appreciate you guys joining us tonight. It is indeed late night. We're still coming off of the week of a major U.S. tournament. So I don't know about you, Matt. I am exhausted.
Same. Had a pretty long weekend.
Yeah, especially considering we ran into each other a bunch over the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Your run, and you talked about it at length in one of the videos you posted. Your run in NASC was anything but easy. So, I guess for the people that haven't watched yet, and if you haven't, what are you doing? Come on, let's go watch. Yeah, let's go watch LDF's video where he talks about NAIC in depth. But yeah, you started your day 0-2 and you clawed your way back to a day 2. So
yeah, I definitely had a pretty rough start. I went like 0-2. Wasn't feeling too good about the deck after my start. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I took an energy drink though, and then I put my hood up. I was like in serious gamer mode. I put my hood up, had some energy drinks. I had to re-sleeve my deck because my the dragon shields I bought were starting to like rip. So re-sleeved, put the hood up, grabbed an energy drink, and next thing you know, I made it to the winning in. So it was pretty sick. But day 2, unfortunately, was not very good. Didn't do too great. I only won 2 matches, and yeah. But still glad I made day 2 with Lost Box at my first IC that I made day 2 at. So that's pretty sick.
Well, obviously, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks,
Listen, it's tough, man. Like, I know a couple of people in my testing group, fellow TSS member Lyric also started off on the back foot, and
yeah, she made it to her winning, I think, right?
Yeah, she made it to her winning, and I forget who she had to play, but it was a tough one. So tough stuff, man. It's the grind of an IC and a regional in general is already tough on the
Very
brain,
tough.
like especially considering how there was a couple of delays throughout the days, 2 power outages among other things. So it's tough, man, to be in those to stay competitively on all day for that long. It's so mentally exhausting. So to be able to claw your way back from with very little wiggle room, to make a day 2 or to make it to your winning, and kudos. That's it ain't easy.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun. Lost Box definitely a deck that does require a lot of thinking. There was a lot of rounds during the tournament where I looked back at each game. I was like, I probably could have played that better. You have a lot of really bad flower selectings, a lot of really tough Colress decisions. It's definitely a deck that does require a lot of thinking. I don't recommend anybody play Lost Box going to like their first regional or something, because unless you're somebody who has played a lot of the deck, it's a very challenging deck to pilot properly. Even the Hedrick build, which is a little bit more turbo and potentially a little bit more simplistic, is still very difficult to pilot because you have so many different selections and different actions you have to make. There's a lot of sequencing with the deck too, I've noticed. Like throughout the weekend, I had to do a lot of correct sequencing where I had to like Pokestop before a Colress or Greninja before a Colress, and a lot of times I didn't get punished. Like I had a lot of Pokestops this weekend, draw me 3 cards. It was insane. Pokestop is a goated card. So yeah, Lost Box definitely is it's a tough deck to play. It's a deck that you have to be very mindful of. It's also a deck where you have to prize check very much often. Like
Yes.
at the start of each game, you have to check your prizes. You have to see what's prized. You definitely have to keep track of your energy. You have to keep track of your switches, your Mirage gates. Like literally like if there was any deck in the format that I wish you could just look at your prizes immediately, it's Lost Box, because having to look through your deck is really annoying. Like this weekend when I was doing prize checking, I think I only like checked energy. I was like, whatever, dude. If I flower select the wrong card away and it cost me the game because I didn't prize check, whatever. I'm just gonna check my energy. I'm gonna count my energy. I'm gonna check see if I have Prime Catcher in the deck. I'm gonna count my supporters. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. And then you know what? If I accidentally lost on something that I'm gonna regret later on, so be it. Didn't happen too often, thankfully.
Yeah, we don't miss, you know, every time. But no, honestly, it was a lot of fun to just, you know, I love Lost Box as a deck. It's a pet deck I've been working on, you know, as someone that's trying to get better at the game. Something that I struggle with, or I guess it's something that you know I'm a little bit more hard headed about. Is that like, you know, I got the content guy in me. I like to play, you know, silly decks. You know, I'm playing the big stupid cheese guy that draws cards and all that stuff. Yeah, he's the best, man. Love Goldango. Shout out to that guy. And so I tend to, you know, what I don't lock in on like the meta decks early enough to where like I get enough reps in with them. Like I think when I went to Toronto, I locked in on Chen Pao after playing a deck for like a week, and I'm like, I ain't never doing that again. And then I locked in Cloth for some reason to Charlotte, and I'm like, I ain't never doing that again because that was a terrible idea. So I think something that you know something that I've been trying to do now that we're in, like, you know, I knew I wasn't entering an AIC, so I was just kind of playing stuff that I would never normally play otherwise because the pressure's off me. I've played a lot of Lost Box, and Lost Box, you know, like you said, it's definitely a bit more to chew on. It's a bit more of an intense. It's a deck that really forces you to kind of get better habits in terms of prize checking and, you know, making sure you're on top of that. But the reward is worth it, man. Like if you're able to pile out that deck successfully, like, you know, look what happened.
Exactly. I've been playing a lot of, like, I didn't usually used to play a lot of Lost Box, but I've been really playing a lot of Lost Box at my locals for like the past month and a half, and that really did like prepare me for playing it to NEIC, because I was gonna probably play Lost Box to LA regionals had I gone, because I've just been really enjoying the deck a lot. So I'm glad I was able to play Lost Box one last time, because I don't know if I'm gonna play it again, because I don't know if it's good anymore. You know, when we get the new format back, or the new season in September. I don't know if, you know, let's say, you know, the first regionals Pittsburgh again, you know, early September. Don't know if I'll be playing the deck again, just because, like, it's fun to play, but it's a deck that we don't even know if it's gonna be good by then. But also because you know, it's a deck that does require a lot of correct piloting in order to do well with it. And yeah, this is kind of where I needed that energy drink. The energy drink really kind of snapped me into focus, and it made me play a lot better.
When I ran into you in day 2 and I saw the Mountain Dew Baja Blast on deck, I'm just like, oh, he's locked in. Like he's gone full gamer mode, and we can't stop him. I'm with you. Like, I like Lost Box a lot. That's why I'm trying to get my most mileage out of it now. You know, considering that I don't know where we're gonna be come September. That Kirim card is goofy and scary, and
very goofy, very scary.
You know, we've only seen a few cards coming out in oh my gosh, I already forget what it's terrestrial something, whatever the Japanese next set is called. We're getting Afterworlds.
Stellar Miracle, I think.
Yeah, it's Stellar Miracle. That's what it was. Yeah, with the Stellar Pokemon. We don't know what else is going to be lurking behind those walls. Nope. So, you know, it could be some scary stuff, but. And hey, it was a good run. It was a good run, Lost Box. You know, you had your time to shine, and you know, we'll remember you on the way out. But as we are still waiting for that other match to finish up here, a question I wanted to ask you, since we're on the topic of NAIC, what was the deck that surprised you the most at how well it did last weekend?
Honestly, probably Lost Box. I think that. Despite playing the deck myself, I didn't expect it to be that popular and good. Also, I didn't expect the Iron Thorns to be the main way to play it. When heading into the tournament at night, I didn't expect like the Iron Thorns to be relevant. Me and my buddies who I tested with, we didn't really bother thinking of Iron Thorns. We were locked in on using Roaring Moon. We debated playing double Sableye over the Roaring Moon, but we didn't really expect Iron Thorns to be very good, and it turns out Iron Thorns is very good in the deck. So I was really surprised to see that version of Lost Box like become so powerful because it was very much like all the big players who play Lost Box this weekend were on the Iron Thorns, and then of course we saw 2 of the deck in top 8. So kind of surprised to see that deck do so well over like a more traditional like Moon version of Lost Box.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was also on the Roaring Moon version of Lost Box just because I think being able to blow whatever's up in front of you is very big. But it looks like the Iron Thorns was the way to make it work. Like you said, 2 in top 8, 3 in top 16. Shout out to Sawyer Melvin also for a 15th place finish. I'd say what I was most surprised by, I definitely, when I talked to my friends throughout the weekend, I said, I feel like people are sleeping on Lost Box. I feel like people are sleeping on Guardy. In my testing, I just felt like that those decks had all the answers given all the new tools that they got. I didn't expect to see Reggie Drago get a top 16 finish. That was pretty gas. I like that a lot. I was surprised by how not great Dragapult did. I mean, I'm not like super shocked given how, but it's also one of those things where it's just like, man, like this deck just kind of fell flat on its face a little harder than I thought it would.
Yeah, Dragapult I think was a little overhyped for NEIC. It's definitely a good deck, but also we didn't even know what the best way to play it was. That also was a big factor as to why I thought the deck was like not very good. I didn't think that many big players were going to be on it. I expected most big players were just going to be either playing Gardevoir or Lugia, which, was pretty accurate. But yeah, I didn't really expect Dragapult to be like that good of a deck. We just haven't figured out the best way to play it yet. There's like 4 versions of it. You got the Xatu build, the Pidgeot build, the Lost Zone build, and the Charizard build. All 4 of those builds are very different. They all have different attributes and strategies. Whereas like, it's not like Charizard from past format where it's like Charizard, Pidgeot, BDIF, So
yeah,
I think that we just couldn't figure out like the best way to play it. And I think Dragapult is still trying to be figured out. And I also think that it doesn't have the greatest Guardian matchup.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help either. And I was saying all weekend when I was talking to people, it's just like, Dragapult to me still, it feels like it has that like early Charizard deck syndrome, like back in Pittsburgh when the deck was fresh. Nobody really knew how to play it. You're playing it with Squawkabilly and Entei and Arceus just to kind of help you get over the hump with consistency. And like those decks were kind of middling for a while, but then everybody started, it's sort of, I think that in that same, by Toronto, everything got kind of sort of ironed out with, no, this is the right way to play the deck. So I think with given time, Dragapult will probably figure it out. Somebody asked in the chat the opinions on Walking Wake instead of Koraidon in Ancient Box. I don't know if you got a take on that.
Yeah, I've tried it before. Did a video on it. I think that my issue with Walking Wake is that it's easier Iron Hands food where Koraidon isn't. So if you're playing against a deck with Iron Hands, they're able to capitalize on your Walking Wake a little bit too much. So, I mean, you can honestly just not put Walking Wake down in that matchup, but I still think Koraidon might just overall be better.
Yeah, I think when Zach played on stream, he was asked about it by Wancho, and he was just kind of like, yeah, I just kind of looked at it the weekend and was like, do I want to prioritize getting out of the active or do I want to prioritize hitting what's in front of me? And Koraidon isn't a great attacker, obviously. Like, that's no secret. But, early game, especially given the amount of, like, smaller stuff that there was, I think you can get away with Koraidon. I think it just depends on, your list. Zach was playing the Kieran, which I thought was cute. So Walking Wake's okay. He's a guy. He's there.
It's decent. Yeah.
He's fine. It says ancient on the card, so that's not bad. Can't be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Walking Wake's just overall a little mid. It's just the problem is, Iron Hands is bad for the card. It's not bad to have as the retreat option, but I do overall like the idea of just having the consistency of the Koraidon. Because, Koraidon, it's not the end of the world if you have to attack with it. It does a little bit of chip damage. It's actually a good way to set up damage, so you can knock out the Pokemon eventually with Roaring Moon. And it also knocks out little Pokemon sometimes, like Comfeys, Dreepies, Charmander, stuff like that. So it does have its uses.
Yep, and he's just kind of looking through this list here. I think what I was most excited to see is when I walked by the tricky gym conglomerate, and I saw Goldengo EX on the board. I love that card. I've been singing the praise of Goldengo as a card for a long time. I just think it's like he draws cards. He has an energy efficient attack. He's funny looking. It's like, this card can't be bad. And I
Yeah.
do, and so I got to shout outs to, Jesse and JW for making day 2. I don't think their day 2s went great for them. But I think it was a good call for the weekend. I think, Goldengo's another one of those like fringe weird decks that like, I don't really know where to place it. I think it's a little bit worse than it was when it first came out because there's a lot more math correction. Because one of the biggest selling points for me about Goldengo is that 260 is a really awkward number for decks to hit. A lot of decks weren't optimized to hit that sort of number. And now I feel like with things like Max Belt, with Monkey Dory being able to like adjust damage on the EX Pokemon, I feel like it makes Goldengo like a little bit less like solid of an option into certain things. But being able to, scale infinite damage and draw cards, and I think all that is still really, really good. So will it survive in this? Will I see people bringing Goldengo to Worlds? I don't know. But if you are, God bless you. But we'll see what happens there. So
Yeah, definitely does feel like another deck that it's fun. Apparently, it beats Gardevoir because you do get to use Prime Catcher Cologne, so that's cool, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I'm like also a little skeptical on whether or not it's like a real deck or not.
See, I played the deck tonight at my local, and I was like, Prime Catcher Cologne sounds cool, but what sounds cooler? Hyper Aroma. So yeah. I cooked, and I got my butt beat. So putting Prime Catcher back in the deck. It looks like we have. Looks like Badewski took it out over Yozi. So
we have our match. There we go.
Yeah, it looks like we do have a match being played streaming on this end. So we're gonna hop on over there, folks. Hang on for 2 seconds.
Let's check it out.
All right, and we have returned here. It looks like it is Badewski going up against Albatrosity. I promise these names will get easier for me to pronounce as we get deeper into the evening. But yeah, we have the Smush of Charizard, Dragapult, Pidgeot going up against Turbo Lost Box.
Yeah, this definitely, I think, is an interesting matchup. I'm curious to see which deck has the advantage because Turbo Lost Box obviously is a very strong deck when it goes fast, but when it stares down Dragapult and Charizard, it's a little scary because all these Pokemon have massive HP, and also there's no Roaring Moon in the deck, so like you don't really have a good way to like delete your opponent's active Pokemon.
Yeah, it's so awkward, but also it's like it's so good. Like Dragapult, obviously, you have a pretty good early game attacker if you can get it established early, and then in Charizard you have the best late game attacker in the game as well. So you have all of your bases covered, and then all you have, you sandwich Pidgeot in the middle of that, and it's like, okay, I can get one of whatever I want, throughout any point of the game. I'd say one of the harder parts of this deck is that because it's like one of these weird like toward smush lists, you run the risk of possibly like prizing some awkward stuff. There is a decent amount of one-ofs in here. Including your Pokemon and, key items you might play. So prize checking definitely important here. And we're going to use a Luminous Sign here to grab something. We already used a supporter for the turn, so we're just kind of getting ourselves set up.
Just refreshing the hand.
Yeah, and this is a play you can go for against Lost Box because they, historically do not play any early game hand disruption. So I don't think it's a bad play to get yourself set up here. We're going to use this Pop the Star Alchemy. Most likely to get a card to help kind of set the stage a little bit more. Yep, Buddy Buddy Poffin's going to be the choice.
Pretty good selection. Yep, being able to probably grab, I would imagine, like Charmander plus Manaphy. So you can protect yourself from Greninja. You can bump the Pokestop with the Temple of Sinnoh to slow the opponent down. And then you can Iono. And then hopefully the Lost Box player doesn't just like draw this. Oh, actually, no Iono, just passing. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think they used Arven already for their supporter, I think. So, definitely
interesting.
Yeah, definitely a choice. So we'll see what hand 2 looks like here for Badewski. If you have the Colress, then you're off to the races. But this board state otherwise is looking a little lackluster.
Yeah, definitely a little lackluster for sure. Honestly, if Pavuski gets to a Sableye next turn, it actually could get a little scary.
Yes, and given with the amount of vacuums and fast moving lost zone options you play in this deck, getting to 10 turn 2 is not unheard of.
Nope.
It is certainly very possible. It happened to my friend playing against Andrew in NAIC, and he was
Yep.
less than pleased about it.
I'd be too, honestly.
When Pokestop hits double vac, it's like, yep, lunch break.
Pretty good. Yep. There's the vacuum. And, yep, that's pretty good. So we'll see what happens. Definitely going to have to be an Iono and Prey situation. The Force Seal Stone's been used. You can't use Force Seal Stone to set you up a little bit more. Yeah, it's got to be an Iono and Prey type scenario here where we're going to have to see the Iono hopefully kind of bail them out of this spot they're in.
Yeah, that looks like it's most definitely going to be the option here. We see the benching of the Cramorant, which leads me to believe that there isn't much else going on here, which is a shame because it's like if this hand was a little bit more established, and obviously depending on the top deck, things could change, but
yeah,
it makes you feel bad kind of Ionoing this hand away because it's like, all right, my opponent's kind of taking her time here, so it's like they're clearly laboring over what to do, so this hand can't be that great on the other end either.
Yeah, might just see a spit knockout on the Dreepy. Knockout, I mean, Dragapult might be the better attacker in this matchup over Charizard, just because Dragapult can set up so much extra damage in the background, where Charizard just kind of just attacks and does damage, right? So you kind of see a little bit of a difference in the two attackers.
Yeah, Charizard's very much like a fastball down the middle, and Dragapult's a little bit more of an off-speed choice. So top decking the Defiance Band. So rightfully so, just going to Iona his hand away, see a fresh 6, see what we get here. That's a hand, all right.
That's pretty good. I mean, it somewhat works.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's fantastic, but I mean, you got some stuff at least.
You feel bad drawing into that many energies, given you only play a finite amount of them in this deck, but we'll take that.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, we lost.
Not ideal, but
it ain't great.
But the one thing to note, the Charizard kind of can't be KO'd here because of the there's no Moon in the list, so the Charizard should be able to at least take another knockout next turn. Though it's probably on the timer where the Charizard's most likely getting KO'd here in a couple of turns, anyways. That was a good draw. I can get him Bibarel. If no Sableye this turn, Bibarel is on the table now, so that's good.
Yeah. Definitely a great grab off the prize cards there. So we'll see what Badewski is able to put together in this turn. Not sure if that Iono gave them chorus. Always does.
Pretty good, yeah. Usually how it always goes. They always get the chorus.
You Iono them to 6 to get the chorus. You Iono them to 1 they have boss for the game. So it's like somehow they just always have it.
Yep.
Great when it happens to you. Great when it happens for you. Terrible when it happens to you. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's not ideal for sure. We'll have to see how Bazusi kind of approaches the turn. Is it going to be the Sableye maybe if there's a Sableye on the table this turn, or are we going to see the Charizard take a hit? You could Sableye. You could put 6 on Bidoof, 7 on, or you can go 6 on Bidoof, 6 on Manaphy. You could put some damage on Charizard. If you can get 9 damage counters on the Charizard, you can knock it out with Ursaluna. So you do have a way to 2-shot Charizard. So it might be better. I mean, the problem is if you don't knock out the Bidoof, though, then the Charizard player can reestablish the board with Bibarel. If you hit the Charizard, you can set up 2-shot with Ursaluna, because, again, you have no way to 1-shot the Zard. And the Zard can be a problem because it does have so much health, and the best way you can KO it is to 2-shot it.
For sure. Yeah, this is tough stuff, but again, a huge hand here, and yet still only 2 comfy on the board, so, not quite sure what the prize cards are for Badewski, or the hand is just not handing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, just sort of taking their time. Oh, gonna see the. Oh no, okay, no emote this turn. No emote this turn.
Yeah, just trying to figure out, I guess, like the best action here, which is fair.
Also, tough loss zone. That we saw the one of copy of Roxanne in the loss zone already, so there will be no hand disruption on Lost Box's side of things.
Yep, and that's definitely an interesting thing because obviously Lost Zone doesn't usually disrupt the hand. So when you're playing against it, you usually get to just keep your hand the entire time. So it's always nice when you don't have to worry about getting Iono. Same thing when you're playing against Maride or Shempao. A lot of the time they never Iono you, so you always get to keep your hand. They're at 9 here. They're one off of being able to Sableye. Let's see if the Sableye play is what they are eyeing up here.
It looks like that's what they're digging for here. I'm stumped by how large his hand size is, and yet we have no way to obtain the Sableye. I guess you have to use a nest ball. Okay, there's a nest ball. So
yeah.
Oh no, it's
going for Ninja. Probably doing a little bit more digging, kind of see what other options are available.
Good option there.
All right. Let's see. Because, yeah, hitting the Charizard here isn't bad. If you really want to. If you want to at least do some damage, you can. Because you probably want to set the Charizard up to be KO'd at some point. So that is still obviously a decent option. Because, yeah, you have to two-shot the Charizard eventually. Like, the Charizard will just sit there and keep attacking every turn and putting damage on. So eventually, you are going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and no canceling clone in this list either. I know that. I'm sure that was mostly. I don't recall if Andrew played one in his list either, but
yeah. Actually, Turoing the fish here. Then we can probably see the Ultra Ball getting played. Getting rid of probably Turo and fish. Yep. Gonna grab, I would imagine, Bibarel. And we'll see if there's any more basics this turn. Because, yeah, you don't really need a basic. Actually, there was no attack last turn, so you're not in desperate need of a basic here. Because you can still get another turn of Charizard, but the Bibarel might not be so safe. Because we're definitely going to see the Sableye come into play next turn. And, okay, there's at least a Charmander.
Yep, getting a second Charmander there. Huge. No Dragapult pieces to set up yet. But, again, Charizard's such a bulky guy that, he'll be able to withstand a couple of turns here, but the rest of your bench might not. That's the scary part.
You'll have to see how it goes here. Hitting for 210 on the Comfey, knock it out. And actually not benching the Charmander is really interesting there. So I wonder what the logic was by not benching Charmander.
Yeah, I guess it's weird because that is a 70 HP Charmander. So I guess it's maybe you're just trying to decoy Badooski into just lost mining into the Charizard, or making it so they don't have to spread that damage, put 50 somewhere else. I don't know. It was definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah, very interesting play there. I guess it kind of is okay because you're still able to, at the very least, attack. The Charizard's not going down anytime soon. Maybe they're just waiting to bench more Pokemon first. They want to kind of put more basics down instead of just the opponent being able to just go after the Charmander every single turn here. So that could be the logic behind the play.
All right, but Colress in hand, as he always is.
Yep, the Colress is always found. But we'll see if there's any crazy shenanigans here, because I guess not benching the Charmander means the Bibarel gets knocked out, and then you don't have a draw engine at the moment. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you still maybe should have just benched the Charmander there. I don't know. Still, yeah, I'm kind of interested as to why that play was. I'm trying to think about it more now. I'm yeah, I don't know, man. That definitely feels quite strange to not bench Charmander.
All right, looks like we got rid of another water energy there, so there he is.
There's the Sableye, and yeah, most likely gonna. I mean, we could see the Bibarel get knocked out, but we also could see the Charizard take some damage here, because you could go, I guess, 9 on Charizard, 3 on Bibarel. I guess that's an okay play. Because yeah, eventually you do have to deal with Charizard. You can't leave the Charizard alive for too long. So
right.
Yeah, maybe the play is to just do that instead. Because
All
the
right, well,
Charizard is a big threat. Yeah, not having Moon in the deck, I think, is really, really bad. If there was a Moon EX in the deck, definitely this match would have been a lot different, I think.
yeah, that's like, and I think that's the debate that people are having within Lost Box right now, and I think we're gonna see that be, a little bit more frequent now that maybe locally, and stuff. But, Roaring Moon versus the Iron Thorns, like, would you rather turn off abilities, or would you rather, blow up the thing in front of you without having to think too much about it? So
Exactly.
there's that illusion of choice that we mentioned again. So
Yeah, this is interesting for sure. I mean, this one Charizard alone is just kind of putting in so much work right now. It's kind of insane.
yeah, he showed up today. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, Charizard. I mean, it's just such a strong card. You're just sometimes able to just sit there and apply so much pressure that like decks have to immediately deal with it.
Yeah, and I think that's just one of the things that makes this deck so good, as we were talking about, is that just having options to these two huge Pokemon that don't necessarily easily go down, just really changes the complexion of some of your matchups.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely does make the game a little bit more linear and different for both players. Because like the Charizard Dragapult deck is like you just put these big EXs in play that are really hard to deal with. And Lost Box is all about kind of dealing with stuff before they become a problem. Like when you're able to get turn 2 Sableye, a lot of decks really do struggle to keep up with that.
What's your stance on playing this version of Dragapult Zard with the Pidgeot? Because I know that's always also a hot debate amongst the people.
I like it. I think that there is a lot of potential for that deck because you are playing 3 stage 2s, which is like the only issue with the deck, but
Right.
no one's really playing Devo right now. Even all the Dragapult decks are not playing Devo. Even Charizard is not playing Devo anymore. So you're basically able to just abuse all these big stage 2 Pokemon. And actually, I guess get into that. We see a very interesting play here where we see Lost Mine trap the Bibarel in the active spot because that's not a bad play, knowing that the Dragapult Charizard deck doesn't play a whole lot of switch out. So this actually could be a pretty big play here for the Lost Box deck because now they're able to trap the Bibarel in the active, and they're forcing them to draw a switch, which doesn't happen. So the Bibarel does basically get stuck for an extra turn here, which is pretty big.
Yeah, no, that's huge stuff. We're going to see the Super Rod get played here. We're going to get back to Lumineon on a Fire Energy, so, definitely prioritizing the usefulness of Lumineon here, being able to get the Gusting card that you might be looking for.
Yep. So, you gotta find the switch out, or else this is probably gonna end pretty badly. You have to burn the boss on the Greninja. Interesting. You can't bench Clef, obviously. Clef is a very easy Sableye target, so that unfortunately has to stay in your hand. We'll see what the Bibarel gives them here. Oh, I mean, you got Rare Candy Zarf next turn. I don't know if that's relevant because we're probably gonna see, I would imagine, 70-40 on the Charizard and then 10 on the Bibarel.
Yeah.
So the Charmander is getting killed. But if the Charmander lives, you do have a second Charizard at least. So there's that.
Yeah, that is, I guess, one of the benefits of having like a relatively clean Charizard here on the board is that, you're still at least going to be able to get an attack off the next turn, regardless of what happens here.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see.
All right, just kind of looking it over here. The Buddy Poffin's going to hit the floor.
Yep, just kind of thinning, maybe looking through the deck, see what's left in the deck, see what's prized. Yeah, if this is definitely an awkward spot for sure to be in, because your hand's also really clogged up too. That's the other thing. You kind of want to evolve this Charizard next turn because your hand is also really just clogged up with dead cards.
Yeah, that's tough. This Colress is going to come down here again, just going to continue to push those numbers. Again, thin out what's left of the deck, see what how you can navigate this end game here. It's probably going to be Bibarel meeting his demise, unfortunately. Possibly.
Yeah, you can either knock out the Bibarel or you can just knock out the Charmander on the bench, which I think is probably the play. Just knock out the Charmander, put some damage on the Charizard, set up the Charizard to be killed by Blood Moon or Saluna. That seems pretty good too.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah, there's definitely a few lines the Lost Box player can take here. I definitely feel like they are in the driver's seat at the moment, though.
All right, switch card coming through here. Means that Mr. Sableye most likely... No, you're going to be comfy. Just going to dig a little bit more.
Yeah, really just trying to kind of thin out all the dead cards. I guess making it harder for the Charizard player to like even brick the opponent in the late game.
All right, here we go. Where is the mathing? I agree with you. I think knocking out the Charmander here is the optimal play.
Yeah, especially because the Charizard's basically like, I mean, the hand's clogged up. You have knowledge of that. The Bibarel can't really do a whole lot, and if you don't find energy to treat Bibarel, then looking pretty grim.
Yep, there we go. The Charmander will be knocked out here. And the rest of that damage going onto the Zard EX. So Bibarel's still trapped in the active here.
Yep. And, I mean, you got Pidgey. You can bench the Pidgey, I guess. You can play the Defiance Band. You might have to bench the Cleffa. It feels really bad at this point, but... I mean, you got to draw cards, and the best way to draw cards is to play the Cleffa, but it is Sableye food, but I feel like at this point, does it even matter? No, still not even benching the Cleffa. And gets an Ultra Ball. That does get Lumineon, which I'm pretty sure did just get shuffled back into the deck.
You were correct.
So that's pretty good. You can grab Iono here, maybe. So that's a pretty good Lumineon. That does save the Charizard player from immediately just getting destroyed even more. So we'll see what the supporter is. I imagine it's going to be the Iono, if there's one even left in the deck.
Let us see. I did not count the supporter cards. Okay. Nope.
No, actually grabbing Arven. You could Unfair Stamp, I guess. You can go Arven for Unfair Stamp. So I guess that's actually the better play. Arven for Unfair Stamp seems pretty good.
Yeah, given the size of that hand, I think we're signaling, all right, I think we're done here. So
yeah.
And then you hope off the Unfair Stamp you get that other energy card you can attach to, get this Bibarel out of harm's way.
And yep, there's energy. Even having Rare Candy Pidgey off for next turn. So if there's no second Sableye, you have yet another HG you can put out here. And getting the Pidgey out will obviously be very important. The downside is if your Charizard gets KO'd, you don't really have an attacker. I guess you could have the Radiant Charizard, but if the Charizard gets killed by Blood Moon or Ursaluna, you don't really have a good way to one-shot the Ursaluna at the moment. So that might be an issue.
Nope, all right, I agree. So there you go. Get second Pidgey off the prize card. Let's see what the response is going to be here.
Yeah, I think it's got to be that Blood Moon Ursaluna. There could still be a Sableye this turn. You could still Sableye, knock out the Pidgey, knock out the Bibarel maybe, and then you just need to KO Charizard for game. Honestly, still a lot of time to kind of piece together a win here, especially because the Charizard is so heavily damaged and that Turo is no longer an option.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah. KOing the Charizard here, I definitely think would be the best play you can make just because there's no real good response. But if not, even if you can Sableye again, just getting a KO on the bench would be good, and then you can just finish off Charizard for the last two prizes.
There we go. Continuing to pick some flowers here.
Yeah, really looking through the deck. That Unfair Stamp definitely did some damage. Even though, we saw the deck get thinned quite a bit, the following turn, the Lost Box player can still have these really awkward hands, or they just get these awkward flower selects where it really messes them up. And that is probably the play, and it's just Unfair Stamp and pray. Ooh, it's Colress.
What a card.
It's a pretty good card to find. Will that be enough for Bazowski here to either deal with the Charizard or get another Sableye going to try to cripple the bench a little bit more?
Ooh, breaking news from the other side of the bracket, LDF. Green Being has knocked out Josh.
Ooh, interesting.
So, Guardy takes out Control. So,
yeah, I guess we'll see who makes it to the finals here. It might be another NAIC situation where we might see Lost Box versus Charizard, or versus Guardy, but we actually just see a pass of the turn here. This is a really big moment for the Charizard deck to really get back into the game.
Yeah, no, this is going to be huge stuff. So,
yeah, now you even have the Pidgeot as an attacker you can establish. You can Bibarel here. Let's see, there's Iono Palpad.
Yep, big stuff. Again, late game Iono has proven to be very, very effective against Lost Box. So
there's Quick Search, grabbing Buddy Poffin, or grabbing Radiant Charizard, actually. I guess just trying to get the Radiant Charizard established here to set up the potential response attacker. You can collapse away the Lumineon here, which is really good.
It's just like old times.
Pretty good stuff, yeah.
Gonna pad it back in. It's gonna grab
Turo Iono.
Smart stuff.
Yep, and you can just Iono here, probably just shrink the hand. And honestly, getting Lost Vacuum here would be really good too. You can vacuum the rescue board off. Ooh, no vac. Okay.
There you go. It's gonna Burning Darkness once again. Bring it down to 2 prize cards.
Pretty good. All right. It's looking a lot better for the Charizard deck now. You could still see the Ursaluna this turn. Ursaluna knockout Charizard would still be really good in this scenario because there is no way to one-shot the Ursaluna currently. I don't think there's a way for Charizard to do that because Radiant Charizard would need Defiance Band, but Defiance Band's already in play. So
yeah,
if the Ursaluna comes out here, I still think this game could be over.
I agree. It's definitely gonna be close.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's got to be the Ursaluna. There it is. Just needs an energy. There's Mirage Gate.
I've seen a whole lot of those all set, I believe.
Yeah, it might be the first one we've seen, actually. But I guess the way the game went, it was just Sableye and Cram and Ursaluna, which, I mean, logically, you don't really need the gates for, which is kind of funny. But yeah, there's the energy. The Charizard will go down here, and there is no current way to knock out Ursaluna back. So this might be potentially close to the end of the game. There is still a silver lining. You could still Iono to 1. Pokestop's really good, though. Now you're able to draw more cards. Because basically you can go Ursaluna into, like, maybe Sableye for a game or something.
Right.
Or if they still have their boss, they could try to move the Ursaluna back. But Iono to 1 here will be nice at least, because you can slow them down even more.
Yeah, this has been, since Iono was released, you know, this has been sort of like the, kind of like the scary back against your wall end game for Lost Box when your opponent disrupts you all the way down to 1 prize card.
Yep, and Lost Box is one of the only decks that really doesn't appreciate Iono spam, and
no. Unfair spam they can deal with. Iono spam, that's where I draw the line. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Me and my homies hate Iono.
But again, we see that the bear looming. We've talked criminally little about the bear tonight. That card is insane.
Yeah, Ursaluna is a very, very good and strong card. And right here, you can just see how good it is knocking out this Radiant or this Charizard EX. And like I said, there is no current way to KO Ursaluna. Radiant Charizard only does 250 damage, so this Ursaluna is extremely bulky.
Yeah, I'm curious what the strat's going to be here. Looks like we're going to pop and see what we can do. Again, no, we have to go through the bear here. With only 1 prize card left, you know, swinging with Radiant Zard does not sound great.
Iono to 1 plus maybe attack with Pidgeot is okay.
That's right, because they can't Blood Moon 2 turns in a row. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and when you Iono them to 1, there's a very unlikely chance that they're going to draw into a way to attack and kill Pidgeot. So that could be the play. You could also just attack with Radiant Zard, though, and just hit for 250. We'll see. There's still a boss in the deck, I think, right? Now, there's a counter catcher, so you can go 2-shot Ursaluna. So we are actually going to see the game end next turn. Charizard does have game currently. They can go, I guess, yeah, you can go Smack with Radiant Charizard. No, actually, no. I think you have to go Pidgeot because you can't attack twice with Charizard. So you have to go Pidgeot this turn,
right.
Smack your Ursaluna, and then the next turn you can counter catcher for game maybe if you're lucky. All right, it's down to this. It's a pretty good turn. Iona to 1 plus vacuum plus get rid of the Pokestop. Makes it really difficult for Lost Box here to win.
Yeah,
Unless
with
they
only...
have a Colress.
which they always have.
They might. I think there might be one left. We see 2 in the discard pile, so. Oh no, that was it actually. That was the Lost Zone, I think. Yeah, so there's no Colress left. Actually, I don't think there's a way for Lost Box to win this turn because there's no Colress left in the deck.
Yeah, this is tough. This is really tough.
Yeah, might be GG's.
Yeah, 8 cards left in the deck. Obviously, the Lost Vacuum taking care of the rescue board means that even switching out of the active is not even a good thing to do. We're going to boss stall here.
But there is that Turo, so unfortunately not going to matter. And that's GG's. If you can't move Ursaluna, it's game over because the Radiant Charizard could just knock it out. Because I think there's one fire in the deck. You quick search for fire, Turo, and game.
There we go. Let's see what it comes down to.
Yeah, let's see. Is it in there? Can it be found? There's one card in hand. I don't know what that one card is, but it doesn't look like it's very playable considering how long they've taken. Okay, super rod, yeah. Not gonna matter. All right, and it looks like that's the end of the game.
Yeah, that's most likely seems like the end of things here, obviously. Yep, passing the buck. The Turo's gonna pick up the barrel. But we quick search first.
Yep, grab the fire energy, and you can Turo and knock out the active Ursaluna. That was a really interesting comeback, but that is Charizard. Charizard, especially when they got the Pidgeot out, eventually they just were able to chain together an insane board and just made an insane comeback happen.
Yeah, you know, it's I asked one of my friends about this when he played in New Orleans. I was like, what was your percentage of attacking with Charizard versus attacking with Dragapult? And he said that by a large amount, he was attacking much more with Charizard.
Yep.
So there we go. 2 prize cards taken. That's going to be game 1. Going to Albatrosity.
Yeah, really impressive comeback there. Just that Sableye Bibarel stall, like, really was looking bad, but eventually was able to just kind of chain things together. A couple hand disruptions, Pidgeot at the end there with all the extra disruption cards with the vacuum and the Bustery Wind really made a big difference.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was Pidgeot is definitely an underrated attacker, but being able to get rid of stadiums is huge. You know, stadiums are definitely in a weird place right now. They're certainly down in counts.
Yeah.
Since there's no ability, since Path to the Peak rotated out, but still being able to get rid of a stadium, you know, to you know, slow your opponent down a little bit more, never a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely is still really good, and that's power of Charizard. Just big Pokemon that allow you to like chain together these crazy combos can really make for some insane comebacks.
Big guy go boom. That's what he does.
Exactly. Sometimes some decks just can't deal with the monstrous HP that these Pokemon have.
All right, so how did the stream ended here? Let's see what.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up.
Let's see what happened here. I am not quite sure what's going on here. I might. Sometimes these things happen, you know, where the client makes you quit out to play another game again. So.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened here. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Okay, just got word from the judge that PTCGL crashed on the other end for Albatrosity. So had to restart the client.
Yep.
Things happen, unfortunate. So
it happens exactly.
But again, we appreciate you all. There's almost 50 of y'all hanging out with us tonight. It is late. Thank God I don't have work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's almost 4 a.m. I'm getting pretty sleepy, but we gotta stick this out.
Yeah, we got
for the finals.
Yeah, we might actually be able to stream a finals tonight. So that's big stuff. So
Yep, yep.
All right, as we again await our finals match here, or at least oh, there we go. Stream's back up.
All right, we are back in it.
There we go. And pretty diverse late night tonight as well. Gardevoir, Lost Box, Lugia, and Regidrago. Regidrago sticking into the top 4. That deck I feel like is just like, I think everyone is just like has been waiting for this deck to be good. And I was just like, all right, cool. Now we got a skeleton to play off of, and now we can make this work.
Yeah, it's really cool to see Regidrago be good because over the year the card's been out, it never saw a lot of successes. Always had new dragons to work with, but never was able to capitalize on the success that it really wanted. But eventually, it's now at the point where it actually might be a decent meta deck.
Pretty good stuff. And of course, and Lugia and Raging Bolt also in the top 5 meta share, nowhere to be found in the late night tonight. So,
yep.
Tough stuff.
Kind of crazy, but it's what happens.
Yeah, variance is a thing. I love you, Big Lou, but my God, what a deck you are.
Definitely can be a pile.
I've compared Lugia multiple times to a very toxic ex-girlfriend, where it's just like, keep trying to kick it, man, but man, something keeps me coming back.
Yep, exactly.
And that thing is Primal Turbo. But that is not the case here. We're going first with Charizard. Not necessarily your favorite thing to do.
Honestly, though, pretty solid start here. We see Rare
agree.
Candy, Arven, Cleffa start. Honestly, not a bad hand at all. So definitely a lot you can do with this starting hand.
Yeah, it's certainly not a bad hand to start with. Like we said, going first with Charizard has its risks, but I do think when you have a hand this good, it's like, okay, we'll be okay here. So,
yeah, pretty solid stuff. Obviously, no hand disruption on Lost Box's side. Doesn't play any Ionas or anything, so we'll probably see a pretty decent setup here afterwards.
all right, now the long pause here for Badewski trying to figure out what the play
what to
is.
do first. Yeah, we see the Pokestop. Ooh. Only getting one switch. Not sure how good that's going to be, but we're going to find out. Oh, there's Colress.
If I had $1 for every time I Pokestopped away a Pokestop, I would be rich.
Yeah, it's pretty common thing. Or even Pokestopping away a supporter, of course, the classic.
Sometimes you Pokestop away three supporters, and it stinks.
That's never fun, but.
All right, Buddy Puffin coming down here, so we are going to be able to get some more bench Pokemon established.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing the flowers get selected here.
Yep, important stuff. Depending on if Cramorant's prize or not, we see the Nest Ball coming down, which leads me to believe that somebody is coming to the table. It's Greninja. Okay, also not a bad choice.
Honestly, turn 1 Greninja is actually very possible, and that could be really bad. There was no Manaphy grabbed here, so yeah, if turn 1 Greninja does come down, this actually could be pretty bad for the Charizard deck.
Yeah, that false sense of, oh man, like, I don't think I need the bench Manaphy right now, but maybe I should have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the rescue board coming on here, so we're going to most likely see the pivot out into another Comfy. Then we are 1 away from the threshold to unlock Cram.
Yep. I think another thing interesting to note is maybe not even kill on the Cleffa, because even if you have the ability to cram, kill on the Cleffa is like not terrible, but you also don't mind it being in play. It clogs up the board and CZ Sableye food. So I actually wonder if there's no turn 1 Mirage Gate, I wonder if it's better just to pass in the active instead of going cram. Unless you're cramming the Pidgey, maybe it's a bit better if you can like get the Prime Catcher or something.
For sure. All right, continuing with the selection here. We still have one more Comfey left, and we're going to burn it. So let's see what we end up getting here. Looks like a pretty easy decision.
Yeah. Definitely some decent stuff. Manifesting a Lost Zone. There's the vacuum. Ooh. At turn 1/7, it looks like the dream is real.
Yep, Pokestop will be meeting its timely end here, and I believe you might be right. If we're not at 7 already, we're at 6. Oh, okay.
There it is. Yep. And it looks like we most likely are going to see turn 1 Ninja knock out both Charmanders here, and that's pretty big.
No, that's huge. Like I said, some people dream about starts like this, and then they actually happen. It's like, well, guess that's my own fault.
The thing is here too, you also the best thing about this play though is that at least there's an unfair stamp, so you can go unfair stamp next turn after the Greninja kills the 2 Charmanders, which isn't bad actually.
Nope, absolutely. All right, there you go. I had the switch card in hand.
So it's probably going to be an Arven for Buddy Poffin, I imagine, and then unfair stamp.
Can you guys hear me now? OBS just pooped out on me for a second, so can you guys hear me?
Hopefully. I can hear you.
All right, cool. I think we're so good. OBS did that thing where, like, you know.
Oh, I know. OBS, I do be like that sometimes.
Love this guy. Well, the good news is we read ahead in the book, and we knew what was going to happen to those Charmanders, so.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But we still have Pidgeot, so Pidgeot allows you to restabilize a little bit here.
Yeah, the Pidgeot helps a little bit. Honestly, it's not even a bad spot to be in. You probably need to get Manaphy, though, because you're definitely going to lose another thing next turn. Actually grabs Dreepy here, so potentially trying to prioritize getting Dragapult established instead of a Charizard is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice. Maybe it could be a resource thing, but instead we're going to get another Buddy Poff in here, so... Yeah, like you said, just, I guess, prioritizing the Dragapults at this point.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if the Buddy Poffin is going to get Bidoof or Charmander. Yeah, I'm going to get Charmander, okay.
Alright, and we are going to utilize Quick Search now.
Probably going to get an Energy, I imagine, for the Dreepy.
Yep, there we go. It's going to be Psychic Energy.
Yeah, and then we'll just see the Cleffa here. Could even play the Defiance Band. Yeah, just burn that, and then we'll see the Cleffa drawing up to 7 cards. And let's see, can Lost Box play any cards out of the unfair stamp?
We're going to find out.
Yeah, still has access to Colress. Could draw Colress off the unfair stamp. Could just retreat Greninja into Comfey. The Greninja's not good anymore because the Manaphy's down. You at least got your Greninja value when you did that.
Yeah, you got your one. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
All right, the switch card coming through. We're now going to start picking flowers again.
Lost Zone's Buddy Poffin. Let's see. It's got to be at least some Colress here, I imagine.
Greninja going to dig a little bit deeper.
Here we go.
Thinking about what we got here.
The Palpag and the Colress back. Might just have to retreat and flower select.
Alright, just kind of thinking over the choice here again. 3-card hand doesn't leave you much wiggle room to work with, so these Lost Zones are going to become even more crucial. Ooh, but the Pokegear off the top rope. Wow.
That's pretty good. All right, here we go. We might see some good counterplay here, like a Sableye.
Pokegear is like I feel like a very fringe, like 61st cards in a lot of lists, but I really like it.
It's a pretty good card. I consider it in Lost Box. It's very good with Pokestop too, because a lot of the time it can turn into a supporter off of a Pokestop, and in some ways it counts as a 5th Colress.
We love a 10-card dig.
Yeah,
for a
pretty
supporter.
Good, pretty good.
All right, so just kind of thinking it over here.
Yeah, it must be a tough decision. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, Chorus and Switch. Definitely some pretty big cards in the hand. But there's Sableye coming down here, it looks like. There's Mirage Gate, getting the Sableye powered up. I guess another interesting play is maybe you can use Iron Bundle as an attacker with the Water Energy, because you can actually use it against Dragapult and Charizard, and if they can't find Turo, it actually gets a little awkward. So
Yeah, that's true. Refrigerated Stream is an option here. I mean, we know that might not work right away because we do have 2 Turos in the hand right now, but we'll see Sableye hit the deck here. This could be a little scary.
Yep. Probably going to have to KO the Dreepy. Honestly, still fine, though, because you can KO the Dreepy, but the Charizard's still going to come out regardless, because you can go Ultra Ball, Charizard, and then Rare Candy Pidgeot, and then even Iono to 3.
All right, Lost Fine's coming through, so that's just, and again, the downside of having to Clef was good in the early game, but not being able to get rid of it stinks. That's 2 prize cards on Meduski's side.
And now we're going to see an Iono Rare Candy Charizard knock out the Sableye, which is honestly pretty massive.
No, I agree. Crazy stuff. Promote the Pidgeot. Free retreat.
Exactly.
Gets the fire energy off the top rope. That's...
Should be okay. I think there's 2 more fire in the deck from the deck search he did last turn. So. Oh, actually got a Dracloak instead. Interesting.
Interesting. Drawing a few more cards.
I guess you should be okay to find it because you have Iono plus Dracloak. So you just need at least a piece to the Charizard. So you probably still get it regardless, but ooh, maybe not though.
A recon directive.
Oh, I actually didn't get it.
Wow. That stinks.
I guess you can still kind of do something here where you can, I think you grab Charmeleon, which is not in the deck. You can grab Charizard. You could just attach to Dracloak and still threaten Dragapult for next turn.
Right.
So if your opponent knocks out the Charmander, you at least can do that. Or you can power up Charizard. It's like Radiant Charizard. Oh, actually, you can use Radiant Charizard. I lied. I actually didn't even realize that. All right, I guess that works too.
Yep. Swing with the big guy.
Maybe that was the plan the whole time.
All right. Ultra Ball off the prize cards. Not a bad card to grab here.
Pretty good. Honestly, a decent follow-up. You have the Dracloak still. You got Pidgeot. Palpad is pretty good, too, to get your resources back. You still have Countercatcher live. You probably need to Pidgeot for Turo here. So you're going to have to Turo your Radiant Charizard, though. But it's probably workable.
No, I agree. I think that makes the most sense. All right, really taking our time with this.
I mean, Lost Box definitely does require a lot of thinking. So gotta make sure that your plays are as optimal as they can be.
All right, Super Rod's been burnt, I believe. I don't know how many they play in this list. Where are they?
I'm not quite sure, yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna see. There it is.
All right. 4 Rod in the deck, in case anyone's wondering, so.
Pretty solid.
Good card. Dare I say.
Pretty good.
All right, still sorting it out here. Pokegear 3.0 coming through once again. And once again hitting a chorus. Good card.
Pretty good, all right. Pretty clever card.
All right, chorus hitting the deck again.
interested to see what the play is this turn, because you only need 2 prizes to win. You could just Sableye 2 more times if you can pull off 2 Sableye attacks. You can Sableye, knock out Dracloak or Charmander, and then you can knock out the whatever's else on the bench. You could kill the Manaphy, but maybe kill Manaphy, because you can kill Manaphy and then Greninja for game, maybe. But I think killing the Charmander here is fine. Or is that just game? Am I trolling? Oh, this is game anyways. Okay, I'm trolling.
Okay.
It's 4 in the morning. My brain is like very, very much not operating at 100% right now.
Math is hard,
that
baby.
was game anyways. Yeah, math was hard.
All right, we got a game 3 coming up.
Pretty good. We'll see who makes it all the way to the finals.
Yeah, this is a real game of chess, man. Like, obviously, Lost Box is already tough on its own, but like, you know, you might be we don't know what's going on the other side of those cards, so we don't know how painful these decisions are. But trying to map out the line against a deck that can evolve into just 2 monsters is nuts.
It's very nuts, especially when you have the ability to put 2 very aggressive monsters in play. The Dragapult and the Charizard both just being really difficult for Lost Zone to deal with.
I'm going to go pee real quick. I'll be back in just 2 seconds. Give me 1 sec.
Alrighty then, let's see how this goes. Since Charizard did lose, they probably are just going to choose to go second, which does give them a pretty big advantage. Because they can set their board up a little bit, try to get the Manaphy down this time so we don't see any shenanigans from the Greninja. And we'll see what the Bazooski's able to do. Could see turn 2 Sableye. It's definitely possible to get turn 2 Sableye when you get to go first. You can at least Flower Select 3 times. It's not out of the realm of possibility to get that turn 2 Sableye. So maybe that could be a possibility. Or just if there's no Manaphy, could see the turn 2 Greninja. But open Sableye. Not great. Let's see if there's at least a way to get comfy here. There's a Pokestop. And, just gets Vacuum Switch Cart. Loses Roxanne. Is there no Buddy Poffin? That might be pretty sad if there isn't. It looks like there might not be a Buddy Poffin here. Oh, no. Sableye is not ideal, and not being able to even Flower Select for a single card is not what we want to do. Because against this Charizard deck, you probably want to cripple their board as much as you can before they set up multiple Charizards. But it might get pretty rough if multiple Charizards come down. And, I don't know. It doesn't look like there might not be anything in the hand here. Taking a while to make the decision. No Buddy Poffins. Yikes. That Arven kind of saves the hand here from being total waste. Actually, going to opt to play the Pokestop here. Going for the gamble. And does find a Buddy Poffin. So it did pay off. So we are going to see a double Buddy Poffin here. Setting up the board. Is Manaphy in the deck? Manaphy is not in the deck. Though it may not even matter, though. Because there's no Comfy in the active.
Things have been operating so smoothly for Badewski. We're due for a Lost Box brick, right?
It's bound to happen. Yep.
It's just like the law of averages says. It's like, 1 out of every 10 games you're gonna start Sableye, and it's not gonna be fun for anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Arven coming through. Classic Charizard stuff. Rare candy.
I think we might even... Yeah, I could just see a pass here. I'm basically just like, hey, you're not getting Greninja. You didn't start Comfy. You didn't Flower Select once on your first turn. Greninja is not coming down. I think that's kind of a fair assessment to make because you kind of have a really good-handed... super unfortunate Pokestop there.
Pokestop back on the list, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fed card.
Yep. Could that just be the end of the game, actually, unless there's a Colress? Oh, has to bench Ursaluna.
No.
Yikes.
Scratch? Not even?
Yeah, can't even do that. Yikes. This is pretty bad.
This is tough.
Yeah, and the double Comfy feels pretty bad. Yeah, nobody Poffin's being found. No Colress, it looks like. Just another
Oh,
pass.
no.
Yeah, not good. Honestly, I mean, I think you don't even Iono. You just definitely just attack KO Sableye here. Arvin, set up Pidgeot, set up Charizard. Just kind of chill for a bit.
Yep, that's the classic. You know your opponent is bricking hard. You do not want to give them the opportunity to have that hand refresh. So we're going to be sitting on these Ionos for at least another turn.
Yeah, you can just kind of chill. You have Boss too, which is good. You just grab Vacuum here, get rid of the Pokestop, deny them any possibility of them being able to dig a little bit more for the Buddy Poffins, and it could be good. Now, the issue is you can't win next turn exactly because you can't KO the Ursaluna. So the Ursaluna does get to buy you at least like 2 turns here, but honestly, it still doesn't feel good to just have Ursaluna in play for no reason.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, when you have to bench your closer this early into the game, does not bode well for what the rest of that hand is.
Nah. Definitely not. Yeah, we're just going to see the Sableye get KO'd, and we'll see what else happens.
All right, Burning Darkness for the knockout here.
Yeah, can Bazuski draw anything?
Yeah, this hand, whatever is in his hand has to be just unplayable filth. So hopefully you get a top deck that kind of alleviates that pain a bit. Hopefully.
Yeah, you got to draw something here. It's got to be the Buddy Poffin, got to be a Colress, got to be at least something. A Comfey, Greninja. Charizard can't win yet. There's no way to one-shot the Ursaluna, but it might not even matter. Ooh, there's an S-Ball.
You get Greninja.
Greninja.
All right, 9-card hand. We got to have something playable in here.
Yeah, hopefully there's something. Let's see.
Let's Buddy hit all of his energy and, like, Mirage Gates.
Yeah, sometimes you do get these hands, and it might be one of those times where the Lost Box player just gets, like, a bad hand. It might just be another pass the turn. There's a Super Rod. Is there a Buddy Poffin to go with it, though? Could have prized 2 Comfies. Maybe that's why the Greninja got grabbed over a Comfey, so makes me wonder. Nope, just nothing. Just a quick search being played. Probably going to get another basic or another Pokemon like a Charmeleon. And they're probably going to see, I would imagine, the boss. I think it's okay to boss here because, like, their Ursaluna's not really threatening you right now. So bossing Greninja definitely feels correct. Just especially if they're bricking, killing the Greninja definitely is the play.
1,000%.
We'll see if they can draw anything out of this to save him.
We'll see. It's been tough so far, so.
It's been rough. Ooh, the Nest Ball top deck. Getting a Comfey. Finally, we're going to start flower selecting. It may not matter, though, because you've only got 1 in the Lost Zone. This has to be a Colress off this Comfey, or at least another Buddy Poffin or something to really keep the chain rolling.
Yeah, no, you really got to hope you hit something of value here off this flower selecting. Otherwise, having to pass the buck a 3rd turn in a row just feels terrible.
Yeah, would not be good. Would not be good. All right, let's see. Is there anything off that flower select? Anything going on here?
There's a lot of thinking going on here. Oh no!
Ooh, just a pass. The Charizard's even gonna kill this Comfey, which is really bad.
All right, quick search. I'm gonna get the Charizard here.
Charizard, yeah. It's gonna establish 2 of them. It looks like just make it even harder for the Lost Box player to really do much. Now there's 2 Zards in play.
Now remember, Dragapult is in his deck. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, there's a Dragapult. We haven't seen it yet, but yeah, the pull's in there.
He's hanging out. He doesn't have to come into work yet.
Exactly. Bro's just chilling. All right, here we go. Is there going to be a top deck? It's not looking too good. Charizard's taking 3 prizes. essentially has the optimal board setup. It's not looking good. I don't
Yeah.
even know if Lost Box player really even has a way to win anymore. Like, I feel like they're just a little too far behind, but we'll see.
Yeah, being down far this many prizes, having to punch twice into Zard doesn't really feel
Doesn't
good.
feel good. Yeah.
You can't even do that because unless you get another basic down. Oh gosh. You know, if this
The
guy's showing up, things are
thorns.
bad.
Yep. I guess you could stall the Manaphy for a turn because they can't quick search. So that's good. So I guess this buys you a turn. Will it matter though? I mean, you could just pass. Knowing that they are bricking, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You could Iono, but you're probably not going to draw into what you need. So passing here is probably okay, yeah.
Yeah, if this is who they're hitching their wagon to, things have gone terribly wrong.
Exactly.
Here we go.
That's pretty rough.
Who's going to get the energy card first?
Who's going to retreat first? Let's see. There's a downside to not playing Prime Catcher and Zard, because now you're down a switch out, so the Mana Feast just kind of stuck.
Hey, there we go.
Pretty good draw. And you can... you could raw the energy back if you really wanted to. Probably not necessary. Yeah, you could probably just attack in the active here.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. There goes punching for 180. Is there anything else going on here?
I feel like you just concede if you don't have anything, because there's no way you're winning the game with just like the one single. Like, your board state is just so weak right now. Unless you can trap Manaphy for another turn.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, this might have to just be concede. Roxanne coming back, boss. All right, what else is in the hand here? Switch card into the Ursaluna. That buys you another turn, I guess. But now the Pidgeot's back online. Did we just see the boss on the Iron Thorns? I mean, I think the game's just basically over. Because there's like almost no way you can... There's like no way you can win. Because you can't... You know, the Charizard player needs one prize. So, like, GG's. Ooh, no boss. No boss. No Palpad either.
No, that's tough.
Yikes. Not the end of the world. Just grabs Buddy Poffin. Still getting damage on the Ursaluna is pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, yeah.
Like I said, I'm sure if they've had the nuts to draw out of this, I'm sure they would have tried to, but
Exactly.
all right, getting some more friends down here. All right, we do see the collapse in hand, but that's going to be kind of a non-factor right now.
Yeah, I don't think you need to really play it at the moment. Just get the energy back and knock out or hit the active.
All right, 180 on the Blood Moon Ursaluna. So damage pretty well spread across the board here.
Pretty good, but is there even anything? And there's the concede.
All
right, there it is.
The concession. All right, so that is going to be Dragapult. Doing well, though, mostly Zard. Not a lot of
Making
Pult.
it all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
And going up against, let's take a look here. Dare I say, a pretty good matchup for it.
Yeah, Gardevoir could be a good matchup. We'll have to see.
We shall see. Indeed, it's definitely going to be tough again. A lot of the problems we talked about earlier with how Guardy can kind of go around these bigger guys, still going to be pretty prominent. So the difference being damage scales a little bit differently with depending on who you're attacking with. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun stuff for sure.
Yeah, we'll see which deck comes out on top. So far, it might be favored for the Zard deck, but I'm not too sure. I haven't played the matchup yet, so I have no idea. Could go either way.
Yeah, I know one of my friends in my testing group was very adamant about playing Zard to NAIC because he felt as if the deck was like, very criminally slept on. And he did pretty okay, so.
Doesn't seem terrible.
Nah, accelerating your own energy, being a big old Pokemon, kind of sick.
Exactly.
That's right, just playing the Tord.
It's literally in the name, just Tord.
What an innovator.
Exactly.
All right, again, we appreciate everyone hanging with us right now. The sun should be coming up soon, so that's going to be fun.
Might be fun, yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to get tired over here, but we'll keep seeing how this finals goes. Hopefully the finals isn't like extremely long though, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think when we did this before NAIC, the things were finals went by very quick. I think finals was finished in like 20 minutes, but that's just Lugia, baby. Win fast, lose fast.
We're doing Charizard, Dragapult versus Gardevoir. This could be a bit of a long one. We'll see.
I'll say it again. Thank God I have off from work tomorrow. Today, technically.
True that. Yeah. True that.
Alrighty. Get into it here, folks. Gardevoir looking to maintain its momentum after a very stellar weekend and a great showing in New Orleans. Going up against Charizard.
Keep it up. Yeah, can it keep it up? You'll see.
Yeah, I'm very curious if this is going to play out here. Not a great starter. You never really want to start Manaphy.
No.
Let me get a mulligan.
Yeah, Mulligan helps a little bit more. So, I mean, there's the Arvin in hand. I'm not sure who's going actually first or second, but the Arvin helps a little bit.
I experienced the first myself today on TCG Live. I mulliganed 7 times apparently.
Dang, hey, I do be like that sometimes.
I love it how the game just like arbitrarily decides how many times you don't draw a card. It's like, you know what, 7 seems right here. It's like, all right, man, whatever. Like,
it's not bad, it happens. Sometimes you just don't get it.
Sometimes the fake deck bricks for you, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, Charizard is going second, so they can at least Arvin here to establish their board a little bit more, which is good.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where I feel like who actually wins the coin flip matters. I feel like both these decks kind of want to go second, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if you're Gardevoir, like, it's not like you don't hate going first because Charizard can't attack you turn 1 anyway, so.
Yeah. So the double buddy Poffin, pretty solid stuff. Able to put 4 Ralts in play turn 1 is pretty good.
Nah, can't scoff at that. Again, at least we will have the Arvin here to get things going, so.
Pretty solid.
Gonna be able to grab Buddy Poffin as well as TM Evolution. Looks like all the major players are in the deck.
Yeah, making sure it's nothing too bad prized. Doesn't look like there's anything super bad, so that's good.
All right, and we have Buddy Poffin hitting the deck here, so.
Yep, grabs Charmander. Bidoof has the Dreepy that can come down. And the Termin Team Evo here is pretty good, too. So that's a pretty solid turn 1.
Yeah, no, this is good stuff, so. As we're going with Charmeleon and Bibarel.
Pretty good. Yeah, you get the Charmeleon for next turn, guaranteed Charizard. You got the Bibarel set up. Pretty solid stuff. Especially knowing that Guardy's probably not going to get the turn 2 Gardevoir up or anything. So probably just going to have a free turn where the opponent just sets up a bunch of Curlias.
Sounds about right.
Exactly.
All right, just kind of waiting over the next move here. it's going to be Artisan.
Yeah, Artisan's pretty good. Grabbing, probably, I would imagine, something like Fluttermane or Monkey Dory. Yeah, grabs that Monkey Dory.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Ooh, okay.
And Iono, it's pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, they had a good hand. They had the Dracloak and the Ultra Ball, but this hand's not bad either. Got Buddy Poffin, a rare candy. He's got the Pidgeot. Not bad either.
All right, again, just going through the drawing motion here. What these cards do best. This is going through a lot of your deck very quickly.
Yeah, you can see a lot of cards in a single turn here, which is really, really strong. And even has Greninja, so drawing a lot more cards. Really looking for those Kirlias. Only has one Kirlia in play, so I'm not sure if they have another one or not. Actually, opting to retreat here into the Monkey Dory. Interesting. And just a pass, so protecting the Ralts over the Monkey Dory is definitely an interesting decision.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think maybe it's a case of like, okay, we have this man. If he stuck in the active here, like maybe we can kind of like play around this for a bit.
Yeah, which yeah, it seems good. Seems good. You can get the Charizard out attacking here. I wonder if we're ever going to see Dragapult come down this matchup, just because it seems like it could be good in a matchup like this. But yeah, it makes me wonder if Dragapult is going to loom its head in this match. And yeah, there's Rare Candy. Looks like we are going to see the Dragapult come down here. Probably not attacking with... Well, actually, no. Yeah, Dragapult can attack. You can evolve Charmeleon into Charizard and attack with Dragapult. But theoretically, yeah, you can get turn 2 Dragapult here.
It is possible.
We just need to find Charizard. It does have a lot of draw. Bibarel plus Iono. It's a lot of draw to work with. That would have been good if you had Charizard. You would have had Candy for next turn. All right, here we go. Is there a Charizard off the Iono? Yep, there is. There it is.
Yep, there is.
Interesting decision what to get rid of, though. Do you get rid of the counter catchers, or do you get rid of the Lumineon? Oh, actually he goes Charmander, Fire. I think you can probably afford to get rid of one counter catcher, right? Considering you're about to take the first knockout.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how often you're going to be playing it from behind.
Yeah,
in this
I think
matchup,
one counter catcher is okay to keep around, but yeah, you probably don't need both.
Yeah, I think one is also fine, personally.
Yeah.
But here we go.
That's a pretty good turn. So now we can see the Dragapult turn 2 come swinging, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. And if we can get the Pidgeot in play next turn, I think we're going to even have more of a dominance of board.
Yeah, for sure. There we go. Phantom Dive going to take care of the Monkey Dory, and we're just going to throw...
Probably puts... spreading the damage out a little bit is interesting.
Yeah.
Gotta be mindful of Cresselia, but just kind of wants to set up damage around the board. I don't know if we're going to see another Monkey Dory come down at least, so there is that.
That's certainly a choice.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the less Monkey Dories, the better. So knocking on the Monkey Dory there is big.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so Dragapult is here.
The other thing, too, is with the presence of Charizard, you can't really afford to put Gardevoir in play unless you Turo it on the turn you play it down.
Yeah.
We can just see the boss knock out the Guardy.
That's probably one of the reasons why this deck was such a great call for, NAIC. Just being able to knock out Guardy EX in like one shot without having to think about it. It's a luxury that a lot of decks don't have right now.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, not many decks, there's not that many good dark types other than Moon and Charizard. And Charizard is one of the best that can do it right now. And if Gardevoir can't remove herself off the board on the turn they play it down, then the Charizard usually can just go boss, knock it out.
Yeah, they heard that there weren't a lot of great darkness Pokemon in the format, and then they're giving us, the Loyal 3 and Pecharunt next set, so they knew.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll give you more dark Pokemon to work with. Keep making dark Pokemon good again. So. Yeah. Fair enough, right?
Can't go wrong with that logic.
Nope.
Big hand here on the side of Green Kick.
Yeah, can do a lot here. Gonna Ultra Ball away Iono and Evo. Probably gonna grab a Gardevoir, maybe?
Yeah, makes sense. I guess this is like a little bit more okay because there is no Pidgeot established, so
Yeah, exactly.
we can't just go Gardevoir hunting next turn. Yet, at least.
Yeah, unless Bibarel maybe drops boss. I mean, because you have Lumineon for boss, but do you really want
Yeah.
to
Oh, that's true as well. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but if you play Lumineon down, though, you do run the risk of it getting KO'd a bit easier, and it might not be great.
I wasn't looking at how many Zards. Excuse me, how many oh my god, I'm blanking. Oh, boss. There we go.
Yeah, I think it might be 2 boss, maybe 1.
No,
I'm
it's
not
1
sure.
boss.
Oh wow, it's 1 boss. Huh.
Yeah, 1 boss, 1 pal pad. So.
Fair enough. I guess the double counter catcher makes up for it.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. All right, we're just kind of searching out what to get here.
Yeah, grab the Creepy. The Cresselia did KO the Pidgey, which is pretty big, so.
Nope, I agree. Mainly attaching the Charizard.
See, is there a Gust here? Let's see. No.
Tough.
But we can see the Cresselia go down, and we're going to see one of those Ralts get KO'd, so nice little 2-prize turn here for the Dragapult.
Yeah, could have gone on 3 prize cards. Can't complain about that.
It's definitely pretty solid.
You set
I
up
wonder,
yourself.
actually, I wonder if the Ralts even getting KO'd. No, it's getting knocked out. Okay, I was wondering if they were going to KO it or not, but yeah, they're going to knock it out.
All right, there we go. That's going to be 2 prize cards here, so.
See what the 2 prizes are. Arvin Pidgeot, not terrible. The
Can't
Arvin
complain.
could be good. It's definitely a tough spot for Guardy here because there's 2 giant EXs in play, and both put on a ton of pressure.
Yeah, this is just so tough. Like I said, it's like having that option of, you know, what phase of the game you want to use what Pokemon for is huge. And all these guys are just very calculated, I'm sure.
Yeah. Definitely an interesting concept, and it's working pretty well here against Guardy, which, I don't know, maybe Dragapult Charizard has more layers to it than we thought.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Tord. He did invent the deck, and Tord is a deck building genius, so.
I just want to see what the game looks like through his brain for like 5 minutes.
Yep, it would be a nice like introspective into the mind of like
Yeah.
one of the best players in the game for sure. It'd be
His
kinda
brain
crazy to
is
see
so
what he
big.
thinks.
It needs to be studied.
It is, yeah. Or just plays the game different than any other person. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh to be him.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. We see the Artisan here, the Fluttermane coming down. Could see a counter catcher on the Bibarel, maybe. I would imagine that's maybe the play here. Try to trap the Bibarel. But we do see the Lumineon, which could get the Turo, so may not matter too much.
All right, we see the attachment of Darkness Energy, but Adrenaline Brain looks like it's only moving 10 damage counters right now, so.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, counter catcher. Bibarel most likely is going to be the target here. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, Green Kick has benched himself out of anything that can snipe the bench, and even then Manaphy's in order, so.
Yeah, no Cresselia shenanigans. Ooh, the
Yeah.
unfair stamp, though. I mean, it kind of is relevant, but at the same time, I mean, there's still a Bibarel. We'll see if the Lumini. Okay. Unfair stamina double Turos kind of jokes actually.
Oh
I
no.
mean, that's kind of ridiculous. Unfair stamp is a lie.
That's kind of that's certainly unfair, all right.
Yeah, it's definitely like the two best cards you could have got. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty funny. Jeez.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous, but it's definitely looking a lot better now for Dragapult here because we're going to see the Turo on the Bibarel, heal it a little bit, and then see where the rest goes. Yeah, you got to go Flutter, man.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense here.
It's kind of a smart play because you can trap Bibarel, unfair stamp, and the Bibarel can't draw cards. So, like, if they just have the Turo, they have it, and the fact that drew both is actually kind of jokes because the Bibarel wouldn't have been able to draw cards otherwise. So, kind of insane that the double Turo was found.
Alrighty. Okay, looks like it's going to be Flutter Mane, the attacker here. No big surprise.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And, yeah, unfortunately, the Bibarel is here. Actually, I wonder if all the damage is going on the Bibarel. Probably not. Probably will be a 90 hit on the Bibarel and then maybe 30 on Dragapult or something, but we'll see. Or it could set the Dreepy to be KO too, I guess. Wouldn't be bad.
All right, Drainer Brain's going to move some of his damage counters. Let us see here. Where are we going to put this? really thinking about where this damage is going to go.
Yeah, it could be relevant. I think you probably want to put it on. Yeah, the Dragapult seems fine. Because you want to make sure that thing gets set up for Drifloon.
Yep, there we go. Gonna hit the damage for Hex Hurl, and just gonna throw 20 onto the little guy there. So.
Yep, seems fair. But like I said, pretty funny that the Turo was drawn. So yeah, we're gonna see the Turo on the Bibarel.
Pretty good stuff.
Yet. Pretty good, pretty good. It was definitely pretty dang lucky. I mean, yeah, Dragapult definitely is in like a commanding position now. We're going to see the knockout on the Flutter Mane, set up more damage on the bench. Has Artisan. Is there even anything left? Is there another Pidgey in the deck? No, just a Charmander and a Cleffa.
Yeah, let's Charmander. Let's take a look here. Still manages to fit a 2-2 Pidgey outline in these decks.
Hey, somehow you can fit them all. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Right, looks like the strategy is loading everything up on the one character.
The one guy.
Yeah, it's working. All right, the one prize card. And it's Charizard.
Pretty good. All right, let's see. What can Gardevoir do this turn? I mean, if you go Drifloon knockout, that could be okay. I mean, honestly, all that really needs to happen next turn is that Charizard EX boss KOing the Gardevoir. And it would just end the game here, assuming the Gardevoir can't get Turoed. Or the Drifloon goes for the big knockout on the Charizard. We'll see what the plan is.
Right, yeah. All right, Artisan hitting the deck. All right, there we go here. Big hand here. Curious what they're shopping for. Maybe another counter catcher?
It's a pretty good hand. A lot of cards. So definitely a lot of options. Could be counter catcher. There's really nothing to stall though, unfortunately. That's like kind of the only issue with the counter catcher here.
Yeah, especially considering there's 2 Turo in this list and one of the other ones in the hand, so.
Yeah, and the Bibarel still in play. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a very interesting spot for Gardevoir to be in. There's the Drifloon. Yeah, the Drifloon has to be the play, I think, right? You got to go Drifloon this turn no matter what.
No, I agree.
I mean, theoretically, you could still go back-to-back Drifloon for a game, maybe? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
it feels like it's got to be Drifloon, though.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think Drifloon would have hit the deck if he wasn't if we're not running the offense room right now, so.
Yeah, exactly.
And with only 290 on the tab, it's only going to take 5 energies to knock out his Dragapult.
Yep.
All right, and there we go. Psychic Embracing to the balloon.
Yep, gonna knock out the Dragapult, and really now just up to the Charizard. And can another attacker get established in time to seal the deal? I think it's basically going to be the question. Actually, if Vacuum is found this turn, it's just going to be game over. So
right,
I think 2 is to find Lost Vacuum.
Yeah, which you'll have a good shot at being able to do so, with once you get B-Barrel reestablished.
Yeah, I could draw a lot of cards here. Could even see this Dreepy turn to Dracloak to do even more digging if worse comes to worse.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the Vacuum is not in the prizes, then
right.
most likely going to be GG's this turn. There's nothing that can stall a hit thanks to Gardevoir being weak to Dark, so we'll see.
Alrighty. So
right,
Drifloon does his work. Let's see what we got.
Will it be enough though? Let's see.
Uh-oh.
That's pretty good. Get another Charizard established just in case. That also feels like it might be checkmate though if another Charizard gets into play because you still have to take 2 more KOs. So you'd have to find Super Odd. Vacuum's in there. All right, here we go. We'll see if this Vacuum is found off of the off the Bibarel. I think you can. Well, I guess you can't really Artisan because you can't put Clef into play.
Oh!
Does get Boss, which is also GG's.
Yes, it is.
That works too. All right, we are going to game number 2 here. Dragapult Charizard up a game against Gardevoir. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go, getting the boss right when you needed it most there.
Yeah, pretty clutch win. I mean, the Dragapult deck did have a lot of outs left. Arven would have worked, even drawing like Unfair Stamp. Could have dug you a little bit deeper, but yeah, it was a pretty interesting game there. Kind of got to see both attackers really shine. The Charizard just kind of sat there and chilled, but it had the presence of being able to one-shot Gardevoir, which that's the issue with Dragapult. Dragapult currently doesn't really have a good way to deal with Gardevoir in one hit. That's one of Guardy's win cons against the Dragapult deck is being able to stall the Dragapult by just sponging a hit sometimes. And when you have Charizard, you can just be like, nope, you can't do that, or else I'm one-shotting you in a turn.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, having backup where you need it type situations is really, really helpful.
Exactly.
All right, let's see if this game fares any better here for Green Being.
Yeah, we'll see how this match ends up playing out.
Okay, looks like we're going to be going first this time around. Or at least Dragapult Zard will be going first.
Yep.
Pretty good going first opening hand. Can't complain about that.
Yeah, it's decent, yeah. You have turn 2 Dragapult at the very least. Yeah, so that's good. Or turn 2 Bibarel, depending. You could even grab a Rotom if you want.
I don't believe you just wrote him in the list. Actually, let me check that.
Yeah, there's no Rotom, right? I don't think so, actually.
No, the only V is Luminion, which is an interesting choice. I
It's
mean, obviously,
interesting, yeah.
they both like kind of fill the same niche. Like they're both just bench fodders for Force Field
Yeah,
Stone.
yeah. That's fair. I guess, yeah, it's interesting. So I'm curious to see what the play is. Will it be go immediately into Dragapult, or is it better to maybe play it a bit slower and grab
Hmm.
Bibarel? I think you probably want Ultra Ball for Bibarel before the Dragapult, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, you probably want to make sure you set up your board first. So probably best here to just Arvin or Bibarel, Ultra Ball first, set up Bibarel for a couple cards. Assuming, well, you don't know Bibarel's in the deck or not. Assuming your Bibarel's not prize.
One of them always is.
Honestly, yeah, exactly. You could even just go Cleffa if like worst came to worst.
The amount of times that B Barrel or Bidoof have called out for work, insane.
It happens quite often. Oh, I get it.
I don't know if the NAIC seniors list of Dragapult played Hisui and Heavy Ball or not, but I feel like that's definitely like a 61st card you might have to consider for this deck, given the amount
Yeah,
of one-off
one of
Pokemon you
yeah.
play.
It's the deck though. It's just kind of like you prize awkwardly. It gets a little tough, and yeah, hopefully the Bibarel's not a prize. The Bibarel's prize is ain't great because we can still see the Dragapult come down, but with kind of a dead hand afterwards, assuming they don't, can get like a supporter.
All right, Evolution doing its thing.
Pretty good, but the Monkey Dory, if the Dragapult comes down, Monkey Dory getting immediately knocked out isn't bad either, though.
All right, so we've established 2 Curlia. Pass on a buck to the other side. Now we're not going to have access to Arvin as well as an Ultra Ball.
Exactly. It's not bad. Though you can Ultra Ball away the Psychic Energy and the Manaphy probably, play the Arvin, set your board back up a little bit, grab Bibarel. Yeah, I think you got to get Bibarel here because, you got to play the game. Going greedy with Dragapult doesn't seem good.
No, I agree.
The Bibarel is prized. So look at that. We spoke it into existence.
Ooh. So be spoken.
Yep.
So be said.
You could theoretically play it slow and go Cleffa here, but I guess the Cleffa's easy Monkey Dory food, so
Yeah.
maybe it's not so good.
There you go, the classic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Bibarel could be the prize, so there is still a chance you could just, get lucky and get Bibs off the prizes. That'd be pretty insane.
I agree. All right, Phantom Dive gonna hit punch deactive here and one of these damage counters somewhere safe.
Yeah, put him on the Ralts, because the Ralts probably isn't going to turn to a Gardevoir, so you should hopefully be able to at least kill the Ralts. But yeah, killing the Monkey Dory is not bad. The Monkey Dory is kind of an annoying problem for the deck, because it fixes math for Drifloon. All right, let's see. 1 in 5 chance of getting Bibarel. Let's see if it's possible. No. Buddy Poffin's pretty solid, though. That is not the worst card you could have got out the prizes. So you probably at least have one extra turn to kind of do your Dragapult things until things get a little hairy. So
yeah, it's gonna get weird.
Yeah.
Here we go. Refinement again. Again, now comes the second wave of this Gardevoir deck. Just trying to get energy into the discard pile. Not a whole lot going on in there either.
Yeah, the discard pile hasn't been super established yet. Probably gonna want to just go Gardevoir EX here. There's no Zard threat in play, no Charmander down, so
Right.
smack him with Gardevoir for 190 could be an okay play.
Yeah, no, not a terrible idea. We're gonna Ultra Ball.
Yep. Is there any energy in the hand to go with that Ultra Ball? You never know.
Yeah. Very true. Curlia coming down into the hand.
Grab another Curlia, draw some more cards.
Ditching the Bravery Charm kind of stinks, but I think they play multiple of those, so...
Yeah, I think at least 2 are in the deck, so it's not too bad, I guess.
All right, all abilities have been exhausted. Benching a Cresselia.
Ooh, maybe just sniping the Bidoof here could be the play. Just snipe KO Bidoof, but when the Dragapult's still online, I don't know. Still tough to deal with the Dragapult.
All right, searching over the prize cards with the Swing Heavy Ball. Okay. Ooh, that's a big find right there.
Pretty good card. Yep, that does help a lot. Turo being able to pick up the Curly with the damage on it. That's really strong because now you heal it. So now there's only one potential prize coming out for Dragapult this turn.
Yeah, no, that all worked out.
Ooh, but just a pass.
Tough.
Still not much going on for Dragapult here, but you can at least Buddy Poffin so the board up a little bit more. It's Charmander and Pidgey, and can KO a Curlia here. Probably put 6 on the other rolls, I guess.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We'll see. There's a 1 in 5 chance of getting Bibro with the prizes here, assuming Cresselia is not sniping the Bidoof. So we'll see if the Bibro is going to be the prize. 1 in 5 chance. Is it possible? Let's see. Is it going to be Vacuum? Not terrible. I mean, that's a useful card, so it could be worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Yeah, it's at least something playable.
All right, refinement once away. Yeah,
it does have a couple refinements to work with, so we'll see finally if there's any good cards. I guess the one thing is the Guardian player can't really play an Iono, so their draw is kind of limited, because if you Iono, obviously, the Dragapult player is bricking, so playing Iono would feel kind of bad.
Yeah, and only 2 energies in a discard pile. That's not boding great.
Nope. Can't really do a whole lot of damage here.
Yeah.
Really, despite kind of a lackluster setup from the Guardian player, just not being able to really deal with this lone Dragapult has been kind of awkward for them.
Yeah, I think that's also part of the strategy that we saw earlier, where they're just kind of bossing around the Dragapult and pretending that it's not there.
Yeah.
And more so going for the draw engine.
Yeah, we finally see the Gardevoir come down, so that's going to come into effect. Is there another basic here? Let's see. Another Buddy Poffin. Is Monkey Dory coming into play? I don't think the Dragapult's going to get KO'd, which is good. So it's like another turn of just Dragapult doing its thing.
Yep.
I mean, again, I guess in this situation, you kind of have to swing maybe with the Gardevoir and just try to hope that there's no shenanigans.
Yeah.
You could technically knock out Charmander, or you could knock out the Bidoof or Pidgey, but you don't want to leave an energy stranded on the Drifloon. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, and there's an Iono.
Okay.
That's a pretty big Iono.
Or
not. Nothing too great there, just more energy. Not great. Got the rare candy. So, I mean, if we could draw into a Pidgeot or Charizard, that is something, I guess, but will it be enough?
Good question. Buddy Poffin going to help thin out?
Pretty good.
No, not bad.
Probably get the rolls back that got shuffled back in. Maybe leave the bench wide open for a potential Monkey Dory.
Yeah, it could look... Nope, going full. Rolls.
Full board? All right, fair enough. Just get as much draw on board as you can, I guess. Yeah, I'll see what the play is. Ooh, the Unfair Stamp. That could still actually help, which is kind of funny. Because the last hand was not very good. Yeah, there's Ultra Ball. I mean, there's no Bibroll, but... At least Ultra Ball, like, if you can draw under an Arvin or Rare Candy, you can go Pidgeot.
Right,
Saying.
yeah. Huge implications.
Yeah, you never know. Ooh, actually, and a counter catcher here. Gonna be counter catcher Chris, it looks like. Pretty good.
Yep, divvying up the energies. That probably leads you to believe that Cresselia is on board here.
Yeah.
All right, who is gonna get it here though? I'm assuming it's gonna be Pidgey. No, it's gonna be Bibarel.
Yeah. Oh no, the Bidoof. That's fine because obviously the Bibarel is prize, so
Yeah,
technically doesn't matter.
yeah. I guess in terms of like the lesser of like how many evils you gotta, it's easy. It's easy to blame it all on a.
Yeah.
All right,
Does
get
have
Luminion.
fish. Ooh, I think Ken Luminion actually for the Arven for Forest Seal Stone. So I think
Yep.
actually we are gonna see the Pidgeot come down here, which is pretty big actually. It's a pretty big Luminion. I guess Unfair Stamps a lie. Drew and Iono anyways, but it just kind of gets the Arven to really get the pop off here.
Right. All right, Rare Candy for a Sealstone. For a Sealstone to help you get the piece to get over.
Yeah, probably just grabs an energy, retreats, and goes from there.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, getting Pidgeot out off the Unfair Stamp's pretty good. The Luminion Force Seal Stone really coming in clutch here.
No, I agree. Huge stuff here. Gonna get the energy here.
Yep, gets to retreat into Dragapult. And gets to KO the Curlia and the Cresselia here.
All right, spreading this damage around. Just make sure everything is accounted for.
Exactly.
And going up 3 prize cards to 5 here.
Yeah, we'll see what the prizes are
First
here.
of all, goes up 2 prize cards. Okay, that's right.
Even better. And there's Arven. Arven does get rare candy, so you do have Charizard guaranteed for next turn.
All right, let's see what we have on the other side here. Or if the Smush will come out on top.
Exactly. We'll see which player can come out on top here with the dub. Can the Dragapult get KO'd here is the question. There's no Curlias on board, so your current draw is very limited. So I'm not too sure this Dragapult is going to get knocked out because you do need the 5 energy and the Drifloon Bravery Charm piece combo. So you need to find Bravery Charm and have 5 energy, which currently there is not enough in the discard.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a dig for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we see the search coming out here, getting rid of Arven and a Psychic Energy.
Second guy, yeah.
Looks like we're just failing. Okay, I wasn't sure if that currently was in the hand already or if the search was failed, but either way.
Yeah, just gonna get the Curlia down now. Sure. Feels
Right.
fine.
All right, refinement. First of 2 here.
Pretty good.
Yeah, this is a tough play.
And it is, yeah, I agree.
Alright, just kind of waiting to see what's going on here. Again, a 4-card hand. The Earthen Vessel's definitely going to help.
Yeah,
Man,
the
Samurai
Earthen Vessel
definitely don't
gets
need
more
that.
energy, which is good. But will it be enough with a 2-card hand? Do you have another Kirlia is the question.
That is huge. Alrighty. Well, looks like we're just missing the charm piece.
Yeah, it's not much you can do when you only have the 1 Kirlia. Like, if you attack with the Gardevoir EX, I guess... Ooh, there's the
that's how
Arven. But you still need the Monkey Dory, though.
True, yes.
Yeah, the Dragapult can't get KO'd, because you still need Monkey Dory. Yeah, and if you attack the Dragapult with Gardevoir, then Arven Rare Candy Charizard is the play, and the Gardevoir will get KO'd. I guess you could maybe go for a counter catcher play on the Pidgeot here with Drifloon. I guess that's the best play.
Okay,
if that's even an option, though.
You're right. Alright, we're going to Vessel away the Psychic Energy. Just kind of continuing to mill stuff out.
Yeah, probably going to get Dark Energy, too, and stuff for the potential Monkey Dory. If it's not, 2 more Psychic.
Okay, there he is.
Ooh, is this knockout happening? Let's see.
There we go. The acceleration to Big Guardy.
Yep, the retreat into the Drifloon. Yeah, it looks like it is a knockout.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Good. Oh, man.
Yep, move some damage around, and that's going to be a one-hit knockout on Dragapult. And now things get weird.
Yeah, now we're going to have to see how Charizard can kind of adapt from this situation. There is the ability actually just to guarantee Charizard here, though, so that's good.
For sure, yeah. All right, let's see what we got. Oh,
that's really good. Is that actually GG's? I think it is.
That might actually
grab
be GG's.
Vacuum.
Yeah, I
think there's enough
GG's.
energy vacuum in the game. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, there it is. That is the dub.
Oh, we have reached the end of our destination, folks. Lost Vacuum, kind of a busted card.
Pretty good, yeah. It does allow you to beat Gardevoir. Maybe this Dragapult Charizard deck beats Gardevoir. I mean, aggressive Dragapults, late game Charizards, pretty good.
This is definitely on my list of things to put together at some point. As we see the Drifloon get sent to sent to oblivion here. Grab your prize card and we're just arving it for the good stuff.
Yep, grab the candy, get the Charizard down, and knock out the active.
Yep, there we go.
There should be 2 fires at least in the deck.
I believe there's 3. There you go.
Even
Get all
better,
3
yeah.
of them.
And that's
Get all
game.
3 of them. Why not?
Exactly. Why not? And that is GG's.
There. Good night, sweet Gardevoir, and good morning to us, I guess. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 5 in the morning.
Yeah, excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Congratulations to Albatrosity for winning and coming out on top. Listen, I think, people have been talking about it a lot leading up to NAIC, and I think it proved its worth. The smush,
I agree.
pretty good. So
pretty good.
All right, well, we ain't gonna sugarcoat it. It's late. LDF, always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. I will talk to you very soon. So make sure to follow the Shuffle Squad, do all that fun stuff. Check out LDS channel; it makes some of the best content in the planet.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Anytime I got.
It was a pleasure casting with you again.
Always, my man. Pleasure. Right. Thanks for everyone sticking with us. I know tonight was a late one, but hey, man, Guardy meta. What can we say? What can you do? Draw cards. Discard draw two.
Yep.
All right, folks. Everyone's a wonderful night. We'll see you next week for our 200th edition of Late Night. So good night, everyone. Have yourselves a wonderful night, and we'll